Ooh, ooh. Mm, 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 mm. What a day, what a day, what a day. Hey, tea sippers. Good evening. Welcome to the Tea Palace. Love. Come on in, come on in. I'm gonna try to pick up for where we left off earlier today. Gonna listen to these people still try to act like Dirty Diddy ass ain't going to prison for a mighty long time. Is he gonna be in the same prison with Ara? You think they'll be roommates? I play too much. Could they be roommates, y'all? Ira and Diddy. Dingley. The dingle-dangler. The dirty dingle-linger. Dirty dingle-linger. Can they be roommates? Cellmates? Booty buddies, you know. You wash my back and I'll wash yours. I play too much. I wish I would. I wish I would. I wish I would work for Diddy. I wish I would. And you threatening me to throw me in a river? And you expect for me to be able to pass a test? And you got me in some funky abandoned building with a 4 tons of fun, fat ass man that's chain smoking cigarettes. You think I'm gonna be able to take a test? And why you just sitting in the room? I said, is this shit a movie? What was that? Carl something way? Carlito way? Carlito way? Was that a Blue Hill? What movie was that? When they were sitting in a basement, abandoned building. This shit is crazy. But you know, I was thinking, y'all, really, I think some of these men are just cannot believe that Diddy was putting it down like this. Hey, Travis. You know, from the ones who just so pro Diddy, I can't believe. I'm not talking about the Ray J's and the Kanye's, and you know, they asses is the only stupid one that's gonna say something right now. You know what I mean? Cause you see, Jay-Z ain't said shit. He better not. But it appears to be so far-fetched that he is operating like he really a mob boss. And in his mind he is. In his mind he is. That's why when these girls are saying these crazy, bizarre stuff about, you know, you don't even have control of your body. Your body belongs to me. After he done numbed her with some funky numbing oil, some a body oil. So how else do y'all think these people can go 4 or 5 days straight and shit? It had to be numbed. I believe that girl who said he looked at her and was laughing at her. You don't even have control of your body. I can do what I want to do. It's just pure evil. Oh, but the day is coming. I guess he didn't. I guess he thought that he controlled karma too, huh? He thought he was in control of karma. That was a part of the devil's deal. That karma wasn't gonna come back and collect, cause he is the king. Ain't nowhere in the world. I'm surprised. When I tell you I am surprised that no female or male didn't beat him to his threat. AunTeaFee, huh? I wasn't supposed to say that. You think I'm gonna let you? Nobody beat him to his threat. I am so absolutely surprised. They say Kim Porter almost took off his wrist, cut it off. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. But nobody, and I do mean ain't nobody, tried to beat him to his threats. They don't. See, New York don't have stand your ground, right? New York don't have stand your ground. You gotta run first. You gotta make them chase you down the alley and shit. You know. They gotta chase you. Okay. Don't pull that shit in Texas. No. Don't pull that in Texas. I ain't chasing you down shit. Okay. What's her name? What's my alter ego? Before it was Laquita, baby, it was way more ghetto than that. I am absolute. Every time I hear something so bizarre as today, I do not understand men and women. I mean, y'all want this stardom so bad that you compromise everything. Everything. Oh, You know, it's funny because one of my sisters, my mama too, sometimes she used to, I've never been that girl who gonna put up with anything just to have a man or a husband, or I don't care how much money he got. I don't care. I do. I was telling my other sister the other day, a guy that had quite a few million. Quite a few. And he thought he liked me. He thought he did. But he had that, if y'all remember, what's that Denzel Washington movie, when he was in the military? Was it The Soldier Story? And he had the little Sergeant Wilkie that had that voice, that real kind of funny voice to try to intimidate everybody. Hey, Willie Spencer. He wasn't a little guy, he was a real big guy, big, but he had that kind of mentality. Like he was no, not American Gangster, when he was in the military. When he was in the military, and he had an old Sarge. That was back in the day when black folks, they went into the military, and the military didn't really acknowledge them. And they had a black colonel or captain or sergeant, and the boys could play baseball. What's the name of that movie? One of Denzel's baby, look, he was young. That guy, he was Sarge. And the white lieutenant wanted them to give him a break because they played baseball. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, he was little and he had that Creole type voice, but he felt entitled to carry his badge and his whatever, and he felt like everybody was beneath him. You gonna make me look it up. It wasn't a soldier story. Y'all don't remember the movie I'm talking about. And the guy, the dark-skinned guy. Glory. Thank you, hot chocolate. Glory. No! Glory was the other military. No, it was a baseball. It was military, and he killed old Sarge. He killed the Sarge. Hold on, y'all gonna make me go here. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Glory was that other. Was it Glory? Well, anyway, the guy, I ain't gonna say his name. They thought I was just going to like him or go along with whatever, cause old boy had a couple of few million. The sage. He was a little geeky guy. Here we go. They're watching the movie. Yeah, Sarge was the little Wilkins, Sergeant Wilkins. No, Sarge, and he he had that old geeky kind of sound. Was it Glory? I don't think it was. I think Glory was another military. I think he died in Glory. Y'all finna make me go here. Sergeant. Yes. Yeah, the sergeant, he said you got that nasty woman's disease. Yeah, yeah. Was that yeah. You just gonna let her sit there and talk to you like she, yeah, him. Yeah, so the guy, he just kind of had that, like everybody gonna bow down to him type of, That's his money, it ain't mine. And he ain't finna talk to me crazy, and he ain't finna do all that retarded stuff. And then I told her, I said, you made me think. I told my sister he be women. They was like, what? Cause the minute somebody don't bounce to the beat of his drum, yeah, cause his military, Purple Hearts, and terrorists, surviving terrorists, all of that type of shit. If you don't bow down to that with him, if you look at him like, okay, cause see, I was there, okay. You want to buy Papa Do's, you want to buy out the bar, you want to pay for everybody, okay. Okay. I'm still not, And they couldn't believe that I had that mentality. Yeah. Because he think his money gives him the authority to handle people a particular type of way. And I'ma still expect for it to be handled the right way. I don't care how much money you got. And they thought I was crazy. He gonna find somebody else that let him. He ain't gonna be beating on me. And that's exactly what I said. And that's exactly how I felt. Baby, you're not gonna beat me because you got millions. Are you crazy? Are you still in the military? Because that's where you need to talk like that at. And you know what I mean? I'm not coming home to no man that's gonna talk to me like I'm a cadet in the military. Do this, do that, I pass. Baby, because what y'all gonna do when the money gone? And then you're gonna be emotionally attached to him. This is what I was saying about this man maybe 20 years ago. Maybe not even that long. Maybe about 18, 19 years. It's a no for me. I don't give a shit who you are. I don't care how much money you have. And that I'm too old now to be trying to creep out in the middle of the night. So I'm saying this to say I just don't understand how these people, men and women, didn't beat him to his threat. And you compromise yourself in your worth, baby, just to say you worked for Diddy. So how you think these people feel now who said that they was proud to work for Diddy at some point? Now with all these allegations and kids and men and women and escorts and shit. How you think they feel? Are they proud? Are they walking around saying, oh, I worked for that, I worked You would rather somebody not even know you knew him. I'd have met him. I'd have figured, I'm telling you, I'd have figured out a way to beat him to that threat. I'd beat him to the threat. And it depends on how long ago it was, baby. My mom, she'd be like, did you put your hands on my daughter? We ain't wrapped too tight for a reason. But that ain't necessarily true because, you know, I got some sisters that, you know. Anyway, it ain't worth it, y'all. Because, again, I'm going to say, if you don't stop them, if you don't let somebody know, oh, no, you will not. Most of them are emotionally effed up. I agree. But that's what predators do. A hot chocolate latte. You confide in people. You tell them. They make you think that I'm here to protect you. I'm here for you. But somebody a couple of weeks ago talked about them red flags that in you turn white. And you saw them red flags. Like the old guy who thought he liked me. I saw red flags. And I didn't care how much money he had. I didn't care what he drove. He wasn't the first. he wasn't the first. May not be the last. But I knew he was crazy. I knew he was crazy. And he used his money to lure, to entice. And he wasn't ugly. He would have been better off not letting me know he had money. He'd have got further. Does that make sense? We would have gotten further into what he... And then you talk all rough and aggressive, kind of militant. And he married a chick too. I think they still may be married. At some point, he put that ass out on the freeway. I shouldn't have said that. That's what happened when you think you're taking somebody from somebody. Okay. You should have followed suit. You should have said that. You know what? Okay, well, let me go. Oh, it's funny to me. Hey, Debbie. But listen, ladies, stop this. And then I think about these young ladies that be on YouTube doing, running behind the rappers. Running behind these rappers. Doing something strange for a piece of change. Think that these guys ain't gonna look at this. Is why they sit up there and be okay with calling them itches and O's, talking to them all ignorant. Because that's really how they see y'all. That's really how they see y'all. Y'all blow up they cash apps, can't get no support from females, can't get no support from other females, and you just don't. You don't support them like y'all support the men who done figured out another way to pimp y'all, make y'all work and bring y'all money to them every night. And they don't do nothing but host a bunch of stuff of women acting a damn fool. And if people don't look at that like that's pimping on, baby, after what we hearing now about Diddy and his crew and his bodyguards and stuff, who when he get mad, let all of them gang bang. Them same ones turn right around and gang bang you because he mad at you. So then they can have their way with you. I mean, I listen, ladies, and men, cause he was taking men cookies too. And I'm gonna be honest, tea sippers, I am pissed about Q. I am disturbed about Q. Cause when he playing these games like he God, he don't know what type of sickness, what type of ailment. He don't know. He don't know how it's going to react to whatever other medicine that you may be taking. He don't care. He don't care. Who the fuck are you to slip somebody a horse tranquilizer? And then record this man in probably all type of uncompromising positions. Why else would a man wake up screaming? Why else would a man wake up screaming? And run, go get in the pool. You know what they say in The Color Purple, a girl child ain't safe in the house full of shit. Girls, a boy child ain't either. In the Diddy house, ain't nobody safe. Ain't nobody safe. Ain't nobody safe. And I'm gonna be honest, y'all, I don't even trust him with his own daughters. I don't. I don't trust him with his own daughters, and I ain't surprised what may would have done happened to with his sons, because if you, I'm gonna move on past that, but I am not going to be surprised if some deep, dark, family, generational curse shit don't come out. And I agree with I'll Be Sure. I think that Quincy has that Stockholm syndrome. Plus, especially when Anika is high, he gonna do anything to anyone. I just think it's deep rooted, Joanne. I think it's a generational thing. You know, they say he done some things with his mama. I think he done beat his mama. Gene Deal said he put hands on his mama. You know, they do. She do the freak offs. Who she sleeping with? Who gonna be freaky in front of their mama? Who gonna freak with their mama? And daddy. I mean, who gonna do that? Where they do that at? Where they do that at? So my point in this, y'all, it's a deeper problem. I don't trust him with nobody. So all these cats talking about Diddy, hell, let him keep your kids for the weekend. I said the same. I said the same thing about R. Kelly. If y'all love him and y'all don't believe him and da, let him keep your kids for the summer. Oh, fuck now. Oh, shit, man. Oh, okay. Bring your nose back down. They can't stay with Uncle Ira for the week, for the month, for the summer. Since you don't believe the females, can they stay with Uncle Ira? Can they sit on Uncle Ira's knee? Can he pop their ass up and down on their knee? Oh, I ain't think so. Let's go. I mean, we can play dumb if we want to. And you gonna have some foolish child say, shit, I bet they did it to me. Hell, I don't care. Now, y'all do know it's some of them out there. Oh, it's shit. He gonna pay my rent. So I just you have to know your worth. See, some of this is these people didn't know their worth. Cause I promise, folk done left their job for that, making more money for less reasons. You want me to do what? How many hours you want me to work? You done lost me then. Ain't no overtime. It ain't no, what is it on the holidays? Triple time, double time. How many hours? Do I get insurance? How many weeks vacation? Oh no. You not gonna pay me my overtime? Oh, I'm finna go. You know that's how we gonna do. Am I lying? Stop me when I'm lying. So why these people didn't leave? Why they didn't leave, y'all? I'm not making excuses for what they did. I'm just trying to understand their mindset. Now, y'all know AunTeaFee is into the mind, how you think. What is going on with you? Let's move the freak offs. Working you like a dog. Talking to you ignorant. And then putting hands on you. And you ain't gonna pay me? And then when I start talking to somebody else, trying to move on, you threaten to kill him. You hold an old girl hostage until I turn myself in so you can beat the shit out of me. And I don't blame Capricorn. I wouldn't talk to Cassie either. I don't blame the other girl. I wouldn't mess with her either. You got all these people trying to help you on the cool. And either you go back or you tell them what we done talked about. And then he trying to go upside my head because your ass want to go hiking with Kid Cudi. But that's because she was young, y'all. She didn't know no better. She was wanting to be a kid, you know. She wanted to be in her 20s and do what people did, normal people do in their 20s, who hadn't been groomed at 19. She was down. No, that's not right. No, she wasn't down for whatever in the beginning. She was 19. She was groomed. They didn't have their first kiss until she was 21. So that means 2 years, nothing. So after a course of time, she was down for whatever. At that point, he had what he told the assistant, the white guy, I got her where I want her. She do whatever I tell her to do. But that's not how it started. They didn't start the freak offs until she was 22, 23. So no, she was not down for whatever initially. By the time she was fully groomed and he had made her a damn porn star for his pleasure, because I want to be curious to know, once they went to the white parties, was she doing the same thing at the white parties that she was doing at the hotels while he's sitting in the corner playing with himself? Now playing with his was it okay for her to, you know, partake with the other people, or was this his own little personal? Because it's beginning to feel like that own little personal in the hotel stuff was for porn. They just didn't know that they were being porn stars. That's, you know, Cassie and the all, you know, go, I don't know what that all stuff is about. You can't get that, and then it's all on the wall. What the heck? Hey, Cynthia, let's go, baby, because, But it's funny to me how my sisters now, child, please, y'all can have them parties, y'all can do whatever y'all want to, y'all can have the big house, y'all can do all of that. Half the shit y'all put up with, I would never. And I will leave. You know, you got some folk who want to be able to say they've been married for umpteen years, just to say, we still together. We still together. Oh, okay. You, him, and her. I wasn't supposed to say that. I need to go sit in the corner. Groomed for the cash couch. Joanne, I don't think she was groomed for the cash couch. Not Cassie. Where did she go? Let me tell you, I kind of have it in my head. That time he called her his homegirl when he was embarrassing her. Y'all remember I showed y'all that? He was embarrassing her because he said what he had put together at MTV, she failed. That was really it for her. He embarrassed her. Because at that point, he felt like you embarrassed me, bad boy. So all you good for is, okay. So I'm gonna make you a porn star for my pleasure. Cause he knew that's what Capricorn said she wasn't talented. She, you know, she needed auto-tune, what reverb. They already knew she wasn't it. She didn't have the it factor. She did not have the J-Lo. He lost J-Lo, and he knew she wasn't ever coming back. And she was supposed to be the J-Lo replacement, and she upped up. And from that point on, he knew he was gonna have to string her along, dangle a carrot, send her shopping. And that's when she became good at what she do. Don't she have a song talking about that? Everybody talking about how good I am in yeah, how good it is. So you sold that, and that's what you became. You became his porn star. And instead of hiring females for him, he hired men, actors, slaves, as old boy said, to do videos. They all say he always had a camera. Cassie does New York. Cassie in the bath of oil does the, what's his name? The Punisher. He made her porn star. She didn't even know it. Let's listen. She didn't even know it, y'all. And she thought he loved her. And the minute she tried to break away, start liking somebody else, she really liked Kid Cudi. She was trying to be seen with him, baby. She was trying to be seen with him. And this girl had to say, "Fool, are you crazy? You trying to get us all killed." Now, I'm going to also say, after he beat me, I'd have been trying to get her. I'd have been trying to get Cassie. Because I'd have said, especially back in the day, I'd have said, "Itch, I told you. I told you that you was..." Baby, hey, Leo. Y'all do know Laquita would have got her. I'd have got her. They talking about throwing me in a fucking river because you wanted to be seen and go hiking with Kid Cudi? Don't you know who paid for these phones? Do you know where you at? I'm gonna get you. For every hit I took, I'm gonna get you. Everybody who mess with you get beat up, trying to protect you. And then you had the nerve to not even want to apologize. Oh yeah, I'd have got Cassie. I ain't gonna even lie. You got me hit. You got me ganged. Before I go, I'm gonna get you, and I'm gonna figure out a way to take him out. Yeah, whatever state we go to next, they got to stand your ground. They should have took that nigga's ass out. I'm telling y'all what God love. He love the truth. They went about this wrong, but I guess they went about it right. But boo, I'm just shocked. Ain't nobody took him out. Ain't nobody beat him to his threats. How is that? And you got people taking out people for less. Oh, he looked at me funny. He looked at my girl. I mean, oh no, let's listen, y'all.
Point alleging she was forced from her apartment and into a car to take Combs and one of the
I wish I would.
to the home of rapper Kid Cudi to, quote, kill him. Cudi was dating his ex, Cassie.
And if you're so bad, why you always need somebody to go with you? Oh yeah, but that's so they can do your dirty work for you.
Hello there, I'm Movie Pilgrim. Thanks for streaming with us. Week 3 of testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs trial, starting with the music mogul's former assistant, Capricorn.
69 bars.
She testified she was held against her will twice. At one point,
oh, let's get her coming back out.
Apartment and into a car to taking the stand. She testified she was held against...
She do look different, but that was 11, 15, 20 years ago. Oh, no, it wasn't.
Hello there, I'm Amy Pilgrim. Thanks for streaming with us. Week 3 of testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs trial, starting with the music.
Y'all saw Rico today, didn't you?
Capricorn Clark taking the stand. She testified she was held against her will twice. At one point, alleging she was forced from her apartment and into a car to take Combs and one of his bodyguards to the home of rapper Kid Cudi to, quote, kill him. Cudi was dating his ex, Cassie Ventura, at the time. Clark also claimed Combs threatened to kill Ventura if she didn't convince Kid Cudi not to tell police that Combs was allegedly involved with a break-in at his house. Clark also telling the jury that a large man repeatedly administered lie detector tests to her on suspicion that she stole jewelry loaned to Combs. She testified that this man said if she flunked the test, they're going to throw you in the East River. Federal prosecutors said outside of the jury's presence that their case is running ahead of schedule.
Like a fool too.
Could be finished in 5 weeks. Previously, they said it could take 6 weeks. Now, Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges. His defense team says any sexual encounters were consensual. He faces the possibility
I'm trying to figure it out.
Convicted. We have our team closely following the case from inside the courtroom. Let's get right to the federal courthouse in Manhattan. That's where we find our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron.
It take about you have to sit for about a couple of few months before they figure out that it was self-defense or what have you. I'd have said that, baby. I'd have said it. Set, okay? And not pretty. I'd have said it. Ma'am, you know you shot him? I'm stand your ground. Yeah. He talking about he was gonna throw me in the river. He had me in the abandoned building with a big fat ass man who was talking about throwing me in the river. Then he kidnapped me and took me talking about we finna go kill somebody. Oh, now you a lie. I'd have sat before I let him do some of the shit he was doing to them people. I'd have took him out. Let's go to Texas. Let's go anywhere where it is a stand your ground. And I would have stood my ground. And y'all would have been saying, oh, she done killed that man.
Aaron, we have to start with Sean Combs' former assistant, Capricorn Clark. What did she tell the jury?
A lot. Eva, she testified that Sean Combs at one point...
Y'all wanted Rico. Y'all saw it. Here it comes.
Finding out that he began dating Cassie Ventura, but she talked about 3 distinct episodes as prosecutors today started.
And he done worse than this.
One of the elements of the alleged racketeering conspiracy, and that's kidnapping. Capricorn Clark said in 2004 in New York, she was forced to take a lie detector test for 5 days straight on suspicion of stealing jewelry. In 2008, she said Sean Combs charged at her.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he had the jury the whole time just to test and see, you know, how she was going to hold up, what she was going to say. Whatever happened to the jury? Was it found? And then when they let her go, he gonna act like ain't nothing happened. Oh, no, boo. On one of them drunken, drugged out days, do he ever sleep, baby?
And kept shoving her with his hand. She demonstrated for the jury until pushing her all the way out of his house in Miami Beach when she said that she hates it here and forced her out of the house. And then in 2011 in Los Angeles is when she says she was forced at gunpoint into a car to go to Kid Cudi's house because Sean Combs was very upset.
Aaron, Clark painted a picture of what it was like to work for Combs, saying she even had to take a lie detector test. Why did she have to do that?
This goes back to July 4th weekend in the Hamptons. Sean Combs was hosting one of his now famous white parties, and he was able to wear 3 very high-end pieces of jewelry loaned to him by Jacob the jeweler. And after the party, Capricorn Clark was supposed to take possession of the jewelry and bring it on a private plane to Miami Beach, where Combs was headed. And on her way to the airport, she realized the bag wasn't there, and she said that she suspected it was an inside job. But apparently Combs and one of his bodyguards, a guy by the name of Uncle Paulie, that's how he was known, ended up taking her to what would be the headquarters of Bad Boy Entertainment. At the time, it was on 40th Street and Broadway. This was going to move uptown into the upper 50s, but the building wasn't finished, and she recalled for the jury being taken to a dilapidated space. There was only a folding table and chairs, and she remembered a huge guy, 5 times her size, chain smoking,
5 times the
to a
phone.
lie detector machine every day for 5 days straight, and threatening that if she failed the test, she'd be thrown into the East River.
The defense also pulled out some old text messages between Clark and Combs. What did they say?
Some of them,
Exactly.
her affection for him,
David Hudson.
how she wished him happy birthday and wanted to get back into his good graces, asked if he had forgiven her yet. It's not quite clear for what, but she repeatedly
For Cassie, for betraying him with Cassie
Combs' good
and Kid
graces
Cudi.
to work. Even up and including in 2024, and she ended up telling the jury as she tearfully read these emails on cross-examination that she was desperate. She had a child to take care of with autism. She wasn't really doing anything meaningful for work, and on redirect, after the defense suggested that, she just loved Sean Combs, and how could any of this be true? She said, look, he blackballed me in the music industry, stymied her as she tried to get other work, and so eventually she felt like she had no choice
he knew how to
but
pick
to
her.
return to Sean Combs, and that's why she was so eager to work for him.
I'm curious what Combs' response was hearing this in the courtroom.
He was a really active defendant today. For the whole trial, he's been listening intently, scribbling notes, but on several occasions, as Capricorn Clark was testifying, he would whisper into his attorney's ear, and Mark Agnifilo would then jump up to object when Capricorn Clark was trying to make a point. So he clearly did not remember the course of events that she described today the same way that Capricorn Clark did, and it was almost as if he was directing some of the cross-examination.
Aaron Kotarski for us there outside the federal court in Manhattan. Thank you so much. And here to dig into the start of week 3 of this trial is ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer. You've been in the courtroom almost all of this trial, right? So whose testimony so far do you think has been the most significant?
Well, I think the obvious answer has got to be Cassie Ventura. Cassie Ventura for a number of reasons. One, according to the government, she is victim number 1, and she does describe a lot of the allegations that the government is putting forward against Sean Combs, whether it be the racketeering conspiracy.
He think what? He think what?
Outside the federal court in Manhattan. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And here to dig into the start of week 3 of this trial is ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer. You've been in the courtroom almost all of this trial, right? So whose testimony so far do you think has been the most significant?
Well, I think the obvious answer has got to be Cassie Ventura. Cassie Ventura for a number of reasons. One, according to the government, she is victim number 1, and she does describe a lot of the allegations that the government is putting forward against Sean Combs, whether it be the racketeering conspiracy as to how this criminal enterprise operated, the different players. She's named a few of the security guards, for example, D-Rock, Ruben, also the sex workers and dancers who participated in these freak-offs. She's named them all because she participated in hiring them, according to her, because Sean Combs made her do so. And then, of course, just hearing the other details, like Kid Cudi's car being hit with a Molotov cocktail. That's really giving us direction as the case continues.
Okay, today we heard from Capricorn Clark. She detailed some violence against Cassie Ventura and also against herself. Why does this matter?
All right, so it matters for 2 reasons. One would be corroboration. So corroboration is when one witness takes a stand and says, this is what happened, this is how it happened, this is where it happened. And then you have another witness who was also privy to those events and saying, yes, Cassie Ventura was abused. She was harmed in this way. But another reason it also plays into this, and looking at this quote here as well, is Capricorn Clark is a part of
He's not going to let her go until
allegation that feeds into the racketeering conspiracy.
Get her.
She's telling us about individuals who participated in kidnapping her and attempting to go after Kid Cudi and threatening his life, according to her allegations, and that feeds into that criminal enterprise that the government is saying Sean Combs is ahead of.
We have to talk.
He told her that he is going to hold her until Cassie swap out. He has Capricorn until he can get Cassie.
about this moment with the defense team today and Clark. They brought up these old text messages that they had found between her and Combs. This one here really stood out in that line of questioning. Why talk about this?
Yeah, so in court, it took them a little bit of time to land this plane, but it did come out pretty well. They had it up there as a piece of evidence. I think the idea here is that people keep going back to Sean Combs. There were allegations that he had pushed her at one point in time, and then she quit. Then she went to another job where she was making over $30,000 more than she was at Sean Combs' job, and then she decided to come back again and then quit or got fired and then came back. But back and forth, but underlying it all, showing these text messages that she was very enamored by him, very much in love with him, showing that at one point in time she had the biggest crush on him as well, and trying to show that it's not the violence that people are running away from, but actually at Combs, they're running back to him for the reasons of trying to be close to him, trying to be close to power, trying to get something out of him. And I think they're going to try to use those allegations and that kind of a thought process for Capricorn as they will with Cassie.
Well, that's what made him use them. That's what made him use them. Dumbass. I could treat you any type of way. Your ass gonna come back.
The prosecution signaling that this could be 5 weeks, not 6, like they originally thought. Does this tell us anything about how they feel right now?
So on one hand, it could be that they've done all what's on their checklist. After they've established a criminal enterprise, they've shown the freak offs were elaborate and organized, that they've demonstrated there wasn't consent in this, but it could also be the fact that we heard that victim number 3, who we believe to be Gina Huang, isn't showing up. And maybe without this other alleged victim in the case, they had a much shorter case to prove or put on at least. And so maybe that's why they're stopping short of what we believe that would have been their case.
Yeah, I'm curious. So we don't know if that witness is going to be coming.
As of now,
okay. The next witness we expect to see is an arson investigator from the Los Angeles Fire Department. What can we expect here?
So we already heard the evidence that Kid Cudi put out there saying that his car was hit with a Molotov cocktail. There was an investigation that went into it. So we're going to hear from the LA Fire Department as well as the LAPD. And I think one point that did come out that didn't really land as hard, but it might do so. In that investigation, there was female DNA on this car. We know that Kid Cudi was at his ex-girlfriend's sister's house at the time this happened. Maybe there's something else for the defense to dig into there, or maybe it's nothing.
Ex-girlfriend's sister's house, trying to keep it all straight.
Yeah.
Brian, thank you so much.
Why come Capricorn didn't tell him who threw it in there? She was there.
After 17 witnesses and more than 200 pieces of evidence seen so far, look at some of the bombshell moments from inside the courtroom. And up next, our legal team breaks down Capricorn Clark's testimony, how they think what she said will play with the jury. Stay with us.
Yeah, why are we bouncing around? Why they haven't asked Capricorn, you was there, who threw it in the car? What are we doing here?
Welcome back. Week 3 of the Sean Diddy Combs trial featured key testimony from another one of Sean Combs' former assistants, Capricorn Clark. Let's break down the key legal strategies we saw playing out in court today. Brian Buckmeyer is back playing the defense. Bernarda Villalona playing prosecutor. Bernarda, let's start with you. We are now many days into this trial. Do you think the prosecution is making progress in proving the charges in this case?
So today was a big day for the prosecution in terms of proving the racketeering conspiracy. I think today they gave the most amount of evidence having to deal with the racketeering conspiracy, specifically as to the criminal enterprise.
Oh, okay. It was a different day.
Who did Sean Combs conspire with? Why is he the only one that's at the table? Today you heard from Capricorn Clark that the person that was acting...
Why was he? Hold on.
Combs at his behest to get on evidence having to deal with the racketeering conspiracy, specifically as to the criminal enterprise. You ask at times, who did Sean Combs conspire with? Why is he the only one that's at the table? Today you heard from Capricorn Clark that the person that was acting along with Sean Combs at his behest, together with Sean Combs, it was his security guard. And that security guard is the person who would normally be considered a co-conspirator, and that if they were to charge him, he would be sitting at the table with Sean Combs. So today, in terms of racketeering conspiracy, they brought the criminal enterprise. They also brought another predicate act having to deal with the kidnapping, and not just on one occasion, but on multiple occasions. The one of going to Kid Cudi's house, but also when she was subjected to going through these lie detector examinations for multiple days in a row.
All right, well, Uncle Paulie of it all, right, Brian? What did you think?
Yeah, so I'm going to do exactly what the defense did today and not talk about anything that was bad and then just switch over to something else. Because that's exactly what the defense did, and I think that's all you can really do. And instead they use this witness to try to get information out like, why was Cassie's career on hold? Was she really that talented? And you had Capricorn Clark say, well, she had talent, but she wasn't talented. I think they're trying to go after the argument of saying that Sean Combs wasn't controlling her career to a point that she couldn't get music out. She said she wasn't that good. And I think that's another argument that they tried to focus on and really just sidestep that issue because they didn't touch that a lot, if at all, on cross-examination.
I mean, she had a hit before she signed with Sean Combs.
And so did Vanilla Ice. not as many. I think that's what the defense is going to argue.
I think because the point she made was she was no Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey.
I mean, no one.
Mary J. Blige ain't
I
either.
mean, she brought that up on
But
her
she's
own.
still a star.
There's a discussion about, so the context was she talented or was she not? And then she brought in that Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey comparison and said that Cassie Ventura is what she called a studio artist, that she was someone who had to be in the studio and have the different technologies alter her voice in a way that made it a product that can be sold. And I think the idea there for the defense is the reason why her career didn't go so well, that she wasn't good when it came to live performances, which many people saw when Cassie did a performance for 106 in Park, that she could only be product in a certain way and not in other ways. And that's why her career failed. It wasn't because of freak offs. It wasn't because of Sean Combs.
Do you think that's a problem at all for the prosecution?
Well, let me say this. There are a couple of people that Diddy has helped their career along that are not Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey. And y'all know I love me some Mary. But Mary can't sing. Not like Mariah Carey and Jennifer Hudson, none of them. But he still made a star out of her. So if he would have put as much energy in her as he did trying to make her a porn star, he could have got he could have, if he wanted to. But she embarrassed him. In his mind, he could say, I gave you a shot. You was on 106 in Park. And you made me look bad. So let's just stick with what you're really good at. And baby, when I tell you, you can put that thing down. Yeah. And that's when I'm gonna make her a star, right? And then Cassie became his porn star. So he can Hugh Hefner in the corner with his smoking jacket on. And play with the Tootsie Roll. Yeah, it was that 106 in Park that sealed it for her in his mind. Yeah. Because Mary, yeah. But Mary went through some things with him too now. Don't misunderstand me. He played Mary too. But Mary said, oh no, you working with all these people and you acting like you don't have time to work with me. That's when they fell out. Y'all remember? Y'all remember? And he knew Mary was gonna fight back with a bottle in her hand. Yeah, that's why when she on stage, she's still kicking. She kicking. That's the Diddy kick. Yeah, that's the Diddy kick.
Able to deal with it, not just to.
That's another argument that they tried to focus on. And
she peeped
didn't touch that, if at all, on cross-examination.
I mean, she had a hit before she signed with Sean Combs.
And so did Vanilla Ice. not as many. I think that's what the defense is going to argue.
I think because the point she made was she was no Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey.
I mean, no one
Why
is.
go there?
I mean, she brought that up on her own. It was a discussion about, so the context was Was she talented? Was she not? And then she brought in that Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey comparison and said that Cassie Ventura is what she called a studio artist. That she was someone who had to be in the studio and have the different technologies alter her voice in a way that made it a product that can be sold. And I think the idea there for the defense is the reason why her career didn't go so well, that she wasn't good when it came to live performances, which many people saw when Cassie did a performance for 106 in Park, that she could only be product in a certain way and not in other ways. And that's why her career failed. It wasn't because of freak-offs. It wasn't because of Sean Combs.
Do you think that's a problem at all for the prosecution?
Well, the prosecution is going to be able to deal with it, not just through Ms. Clark, but also through the other witnesses that testify, and also Cassie Ventura testified. So you got to think the defense gave it the spin that they could have with this witness, because Capricorn Clark was so damaging to the defense that the way that they were able to attack her was dealing with something else, having to deal with the coercion factor when you're dealing with Cassie Ventura. But let's not forget, though, that we have another victim that's going to come in and testify, and that is Jane. So what is your response to Jane and how she was actually controlled or not controlled?
Let's talk about Clark's testimony some more, because she also brought the whole Kid Cudi.
It was very intense in the courtroom. I was in the courtroom doing her testimony, and let me tell you, in terms of Capricorn Clark, it seems like she was almost crying through her entire direct. But because of her voice and how close she came to tears, literally, I would say for at least 75% of her direct.
As long as probably forever, there's only been one Frosty. Because what would we even do? Add a bunch of new swirls and mix-ins like Oreo cookies or Pop-Tarts pieces?
They got it along.
For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's.
Yeah, I mean, all I can
know you
think
want to
about-
avoid this.
Oh yeah, I want to avoid it all. But all I can think about were Kid Cudi's words of like, "This guy's a Marvel supervillain." Like this goes beyond the trafficking. This goes beyond like sexual assault and abuse. This is someone that the government's going to say, "Look at the amount of force. Look at the people that he could bring together to exert this force to break into someone's home."
Y'all hear this? This goes beyond. Y'all hearing? He said it goes beyond all that other stuff.
Having a gun there.
This goes beyond.
I was in the courtroom doing her testimony, and let me tell you, in terms of Capricorn Clark, it seems like she was almost crying through her entire direct. But because of her voice and how close she came to tears, literally, I would say for at least 75% of her direct.
Yeah, I mean, all I can
know you
think
want to
about-
avoid this.
Oh yeah, I want to avoid it all. But all I can think about were Kid Cudi's words about like, "This guy's a Marvel supervillain." Like this goes beyond the trafficking. This goes beyond like sexual assault and abuse. This is someone that the government's going to say, "Look at the amount of force. Look at the people that he could bring together to exert this force, to break into someone's home, to hold an employee at gunpoint." Because that's what she accused Sean Combs of having a gun there, telling her, "You're getting dressed. I don't care what you're doing. We're going out here and we're doing this, and I'm going to kill him. We're going to kill him," were the allegations that were put forward today.
And this is not the first time that we heard testimony of Sean Combs with a gun. So now you have Sean Combs with the gun, kidnapping Capricorn Clark, but guess who else and what other time you heard Sean Combs with a gun? When it came to Mr. James, and when he said he got in the car, Sean Combs had 3 guns in his lap, and they were going after Suge Knight. So not a bad light for the defense is now starting to pile up with each witness that comes in to testify.
And she also talked today about how she called Cassie Ventura when all this was going on with the car.
Yeah, so it's kind of suspect exactly how it happened, because she didn't have a 100% accurate recollection of how it went down. But she said at one point when Sean Combs and the security guard were inside of Kid Cudi's home, that she took the moment to first call Miss London and also to call Cassie to give them a heads up, like, look, Sean Combs is inside of the house. He wants to kill Kid Cudi. You know, someone do something.
I will say this, for whatever it's worth, though, we heard this event from Kid Cudi, we heard it from Cassie, and now we heard it from Capricorn Clark, and all 3 of those stories have different versions of what happened. Was there a car chase or was there not a car chase?
But what's material? Because this is the thing, having been a former prosecutor, 16 years, and a defense attorney now and tried over 100 cases, you're never going to get 100% accuracy when you're dealing with multiple witnesses testifying about the most important fact. What's the most important thing is focus on the material fact, not minor inconsistencies, the material fact.
Because everybody's view is different. You know, what they was looking at that time, what somebody else was looking at that time. We're not all looking at the same thing at the same time. I can see it being, but it only needs to be off a little bit, though.
Try to shoot up Kid Cudi.
Yeah, but it's not just minor things. There was a whole car chase that was added into it. There were whole arguments that were added to it from different people. So I agree with you.
But the car chase was with who? Who had a car chase? Who had a car chase? This is the first time I'm hearing about a car chase.
Yes, was the person wearing a green dress or a brown dress? Yeah, that's minor. But it wasn't just minor differences in the stories.
All right, we have to
where's the car chase?
What's the most important thing is focus on the material fact, not minor inconsistencies, the material fact. The material fact went to the house to try to shoot up.
That's all that's important.
Minor things. There was a whole car chase that was added into it. There were whole arguments that were added to it from different...
I agree with her. The fact of the matter is, did y'all go to Kid Cudi house and did they go in? Who had the chase? Was somebody chasing Kid Cudi? Was Kid Cudi chasing them? Did that chase have anything to do with them going to the house? Maybe somebody just thought we was just driving fast. I mean, did y'all go in the house? Was you going there to kill him? Did you have a gun? Yeah, what the speed limit is, no, come on now.
So I agree with you. Yes, was a person wearing a green dress or a brown dress? Yeah, that's minor. But it wasn't just minor differences in the stories.
All right, we have to leave it there. We're out of time. Brian and Bernardo, thank you both for being with us. Coming up, after 17 witnesses and more than 200 pieces of evidence seen so far, a look at the bombshell moments.
Who went in the house?
Inside the courtroom. Stay with us.
And what was you going there for?
Yeah.
I don't care how fast you was speeding.
Isn't a lack of self-discipline.
And who was you speeding or was you chasing? Who was you chasing him? What? Did you move the dog? Did you move the video camera?
Welcome back. The trial of Sean Diddy Combs is in its third week. Jurors have listened to 10 days of testimony from 17 prosecution witnesses and viewed more than 200 pieces of evidence. We've been following key witness testimony all throughout this trial. Let's take a look at some of the key moments in the trial so far with ABC News contributor Kelly Carter. Kelly, so good to have you. Let's start with the hotel manager's testimony. Why did that moment stand out to you?
You know, it stood out because, A, I have been to that very bougie, very excellent hotel in Beverly Hills, California. It is pristine. It's awesome. And the fact that he said they had a file on how to deal with hotel rooms and the aftermath of him renting it stood out to me. I mean, if you or I rented a hotel and we trashed it, essentially, we would not be allowed to come back. But for them, they said they needed a week to clean it.
And the funky in the hallway.
That absolutely stood out.
Capricorn Clark made your list. What stood out about her testimony?
Yeah, you know, when she specifically talked about being taken to Central Park, I mean, because of the realization that she had once worked with his rival, Suge Knight, stood out to me. It felt very much like what we had heard in some of the music that he produced over the years, kind of glorifying or at least romanticizing, I think, this kind of mafia style of life. And then to hear her in her testimony describe some of the things that we maybe have heard him talk about definitely stood out to me.
She was a former assistant. Another key moment to you, another one of Combs' former assistants, David James.
Yeah, you know, when he talked about, you know, being placed in that, I believe it was an Escalator and SUV, certainly going to Mel's Diner on the hunt for Suge Knight. First off, the Mel's Diner of it all. Who knew that Suge Knight was a fan of Mel's Diner?
They call him Dirty Diddy.
Going because
they call him Dirty.
A lot of people thought that beef between Suge Knight and Sean Combs kind of ended in the, you know, horrible tragedy of Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. no longer being with us. But to discover that rivalry was still very much alive, and so much alive that you needed allegedly 3 weapons to go to deal with it, I think was a bit of a shock for people.
Okay, your biggest moment of the trial so far?
Kid Cudi. I mean, you know, let's talk about, we've been waiting to hear from him, right? But let's talk about, you know, the scene that he created, that Marvel super villain. I mean, even though this is not Marvel, I immediately kind of conjured Morpheus in the Matrix series, because that's really what he kind of gave us when we assumed that he met him at the Soho House. But also actually seeing footage of the car for the very first time, because we've been hearing since she filed her civil suit, and Cassie filed the civil suit in 2023 about, you know, the car being blown up. Seeing what it looked like, I think, stood out to a lot of people and hangs in our memory.
I know that's your biggest moment, but a lot of people still talking about the Cassie Ventura testimony.
Oh no, Capricorn for me.
Of course, none of this happens without that initial civil suit, and most certainly without her, you know, taking the stand for all those days and giving
all
the
three
details.
of them kind of go together for me,
Thank
though.
you so much for being with us.
All three of them kind of go together to me. Cassie, Kid Cudi, and then Capricorn. But Capricorn's a little different from me because once she knew Suge, and her best friend had a baby with him, and then she went to go work for him, and he kind of threatened her on the cool. Some shit pop out. I'm gonna get you first threat, then the Central Park at night, and then the river, the East River, and then they still hadn't gotten to maybe because they can't talk about it because he settled. But when they was in the UK, he did that. Took a, you know, he did her dirty in the UK. And so that's how Suge, you know, the other day I was thinking, well, how Suge know so much about Capricorn? They used to be cool. They worked together. She started out with Death Row before. I just, So all three of them was pretty touching to me. But I think for the people who was looking for a RICO to seal it, see, I saw it. I saw it. I saw it long before Capricorn. But for the ones who just had to have it, who wanted to see that mafia type stuff, there you go. That's why I felt like, to me, hers sealed it. Hers sealed it. Kid Cudi's, yeah. And I like cause Kid Cudi was so real with it. He was a motherfucker, you in my house. Woo! Kid Cudi was like, you in my motherfucking house, nigga. You in my house. I like that. I don't care who you are. Are you in my house? See, that stand your ground was coming. That stand your ground was coming. You understand what I'm saying? Are you in my house? That's kind of like my mama said, did you put your hands on my daughter? That stand your ground is coming. She loading the gun up in the chamber. I'm telling you that now. Me? Mm-hmm. What I hear? What you say? It's been a time or two. I don't. Yeah. So I don't know how he made it so far, y'all. I promise I don't. But he like Hudson said that. Hudson said he pick them right. He pick them right. He know who thirsty enough, hungry enough. You coming back? No. I'm finna struggle. I'm finna get it out the mud. I'm finna start from scratch, and I'll get it. I'm gonna let God direct my path. I'm gonna put it on God and let God do what only He can do. You ain't my God, nigga. My God is my God. See, that's what AunTeaFee would have been saying. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to go through. That's all right. I'm gonna have to go through. That's okay. I know I'm gonna come out on top. But you ain't finna pimp me. You ain't finna beat me. You ain't finna talk to me ignorant. You're not finna do none of that to me. Now keep your money. Keep your pallywhacker, cause it ain't nothing but a Tootsie Roll anyway. So you know you wouldn't even beat my head in the headboard. So you ain't never had me hooked on. Let me go to the next one. You wasn't hooked on phonics. I was not hooked on that. Because it ain't nothing but a Tootsie Roll. Hooked? On what? Boy, stop playing. What your tongue do? Can you work that? You gotta work that tongue. I mean, what? Woo! Nah, boo. I ain't digmatized with that. Oh. Now, I know he know when people was moaning and groaning, they was just doing it for, cause he had money. Right? I know he know that he wasn't hitting nothing. Right? What is that? Hold on. Ain't no way in the world. And if I had a homegirl that would tell me they was putting up with some mess and he ain't had nothing. How hungry? They wanted the way. Y'all can't, I can't do nothing but keep it real with my tea sippers. If I had a homegirl going through that and she told me he ain't got nothing, he can't screw, he can't do nothing but watch me get. Girl, you need me to help you come back. You need me to help you. What? And he putting his hands on you? What did, oh man, they done put that video private. God, dog.
Long time, everybody. I'm Jesse Weber, and thanks for joining us for our live.
What is prime time's song? Must be the money. Must be the money. Must be the money. Must be the money that's turning them on. Must be the money. Must be the money. Oh, that good one. Okay, female assistant exposed is horrifying. Let's see this one.
The coverage of the Sean Diddy Combs criminal trial out of New York federal court. Right now they're on a lunch break. Gives us time to analyze what's happened so far as we begin week 3 in the prosecution of this case.
Who is he?
Really, really interesting testimony from what we're getting reports on what happened in court today.
I need to get this one set back
next hour, so we're going to be taking your questions on YouTube. Any questions you have about today's testimony, anything about that.
Hold on, let me get the other one set up.
Where you think the case is going to go, submit them on YouTube, and me and my great panel of guests are going to break them down. But before I bring in my guests, I got to bring on right now Elizabeth Milner, long crimes reporter, who has been in that courtroom every single day of testimony, including today. Elizabeth, it's great to see you. I will ask you about what the vibe is and seeing in the court in a minute, but I have to start with the testimony of Capricorn Clark. So this former assistant to Sean Combs, we knew she was going to take the stand. She had been mentioned last week. We know about I want to take this in pieces if I can. So I know we have a little bit of time with you. So real quick about how she began her testimony and how she's working.
Oh, this is your video. Okay, I'm thinking, who are you over there?
Kid Cudi.
Yeah, well, Jesse, from what Capricorn Clark said while on the stand today, she said that she and Diddy actually go back before she actually started working with him. She said she met him around 2002, and then from there, later
that's when she had a crush on him.
Getting into his employment around 2004, between 2004 to 2006. So when she was first brought on, she was brought on as a personal assistant, and she said actually on the first day of the job, she was taken to Central Park. And you might think, oh, we're going to go to Central Park, it's going to be great.
Oh, yeah, this is just a recap. Y'all seen this, right?
She said she went there with Sean Combs, Diddy, and she also went there with Paul Alford. Now, who is Paul Alford? He's actually the security guard that we've known about for a number of testimonies.
Yeah, we've seen this
one. She's actually talking about Uncle Paulie.
I thought this was a different one. Yeah, the one I was trying to get. They done, what is this one? Hold on.
If you've been feeling constantly exhausted,
why they take that one down?
Mentally and physically, maybe from missing the nutrients your
threats, forced polygraphs, a gun, and a plan to kill Cudi. These are allegations a jury just heard from Capricorn Clark, a Diddy employee whose testimony could be key to proving the racketeering case hip-hop over. I'm going to speak with Long Crimes reporter Elizabeth Milner, who is inside that courtroom, to get the latest from what went down.
What are they doing?
The Sidebar, presented by Long Crime. Everybody, this is another Law and Crime legal alert. You received Depo-Provera birth control shots for Crimes. Elizabeth Milner, who's been inside that courtroom throughout the trial every day for every piece of testimony.
But is this her last at the end of the day?
Elizabeth, great to see you. So Capricorn Clark, we knew she was going to take the stand after the explosive testimony from Kid Cudi last week where you mentioned her. Before we get into any specifics about her testimony, just remind our audience who she is exactly, how she even got involved.
They plan. Okay, let me go back to this one. This is where I stopped earlier today.
5:30 or 6 a.m. in the morning, she heard bang, bang, bang on her door. She said she had a metal door, so it was loud. Hey, Leslie, thanks for the super chat. She said it was loud. Listen, with Cassie and Kid Cudi, Diddy was not in the U.S., right? Now, Truth TC said, loving your chargers. Go, Tisha. Interesting enough, Cassie was staying at the Cipriani Hotel, right? That's where Diddy got her room. Let's not forget he was seeing Kim Porter at the same time, and he was playing a lot of girls. Cassie was not allowed in that house when Diddy wasn't there. So when he wasn't there, he would put her in a hotel. For all those people that think that Cassie was cheating on Diddy, absolutely not. You cannot cheat on someone when they have hoes. You just can't. It's against the law. You can't.
She said that's against the law. She said that's against the law.
Forfeit any accountability. Any loyalty.
That's against the law.
That I'm cheating. Because if you're cheating, we are cheating. It's a universal law. I'm sorry. And get all of us to murk. Stop playing with this man. But Cassie said something to her, and Capricorn Clark then took her to Best Buy and was like, listen, if you're talking and seeing the way things are going, make sure you get a burner phone. She took her to Best Buy to get a burner phone. Now, on cross, the defense was like, how'd you know to get a burner phone? And Capricorn Clark was like, because I've been on my own since I was 17, and even though I never needed a burner phone, I knew what was one, so I was smart. Basically, she's like, I was street smart. Everybody knew what a burner phone was. Beauty for You 113 said, Ben followed you for 2 years. Rejoice in your moment. Thank you. Lisa said, Tisa, love your work. Thank you. Where is Fonzros in all this? He has not been called in a witness yet. I'm waiting to see if he's a character witness. Ginger Mott, thank you so much for the super chat. And Purple Owl said, I appreciate your reporting, but take care of yourself, please. This is high tension time there. It actually is. It actually is. Also, Verlina Cueros, thank you so much for the super chat. Okay, so let's get back into the Kid Cudi stuff. So they said that so she said the burner phone, and she told Cassie again, the way you're moving is going to get us all killed. They said around that time when she's spending time with Diddy, with Cassie and Kid Cudi, Diddy was not in the U.S., right? Now, Truth TC said, loving your chargers. Go, Tisha. Interesting enough, Cassie was staying at the Cipriani Hotel, right? That's where Diddy got her room. Let's not forget he was seeing Kim Porter at the same time, and he was playing a lot of girls. Cassie was not allowed in that house when Diddy wasn't there. So when he wasn't there, he would put her in a hotel. For all those people that think Cassie was cheating on Diddy, absolutely not. You cannot cheat on someone when they have hoes. You just can't. It's against the law. You can't. You forfeit any accountability, any loyalty. And no, I don't have to notify you that I'm cheating, because if you're cheating, we are cheating. It's a universal law. I'm sorry. You, me, we.
It's a universal law.
Also, D. Horrilla said, don't be a Diddy, hit that like button. Y'all hit that like button. Okay, so get this, right?
Baby.
Cassie wasn't allowed in that house. She said around 5:30 or 6 a.m. in the morning, she heard bang, bang, bang on her door. She said she had a metal door, so it was loud. Hey, Leslie, thanks for the super chat. She said it was loud. Listen, she said that even though Bad Boy was paying for the apartment, Diddy did not have keys to the apartment. She said she looked through the peephole and she saw Diddy. Now, the interesting is when she looked through the peephole and saw Diddy, she said she found out later on cross-examination, she said she found out later that Diddy had pulled up with a bang-bang. He had been, not the bang-bang, but listen, he had been furious and pulled up on a new security guy and was like, yo, let me in, let me in. The guy saw Diddy, was a new security guard, buzzed Diddy in with the fob, let him come into Capricorn Clark's building. But the thing is, he wasn't standing by him in the hallway. Now, Mark Agnifilio made a big deal out of this. I don't know what it was, but we'll get to that. But the important point is She then said later that security guard was fired for what he let happen to Diddy, right? So anyway, she saw Diddy.
Was fired for what?
She saw Diddy through the peephole. He was pacing around. He was mad. He was furious. He looked like he had something in his hand by his body language, but because she could only see so far in the peephole, it just looked the way his shoulders were that he had something. He was moving around. Let me show you. They said, hold on, y'all. They said, let me see if I can do a dramatic reenaction, right? They said that, so Diddy was like, hold on, I can't even do this. God damn it, hold on. So they said that Diddy was like, bang, 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 bang on the door. And then she looked at the door. He was just pacing around. He was mad. He was pacing. He was moving crazy. Just acting, looking in the door, acting like a creep, right? So Capricorn Clark was like, what the hell? She said by the way his body is, she could tell he had a hammer because his hands were looking like that, and she could tell when he was walking, he had the hammer,
he was
right?
trying to
and he's looking at the people like
Tootsie
bang,
Roll.
bang, 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 right? So he's doing. Oops, what did I just do? What did I just do?
Gave yourself a green screen.
What's going on? No? Hold on. I don't know what I just did. Hold on, y'all. I don't know what I just did. Wait, hold on. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, that's God told me to sit down and stop being so whatever. So he's like bang, 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 bang on the door, right? And he looked like he had something in his hand. They could definitely tell by the body language. She said the only thing she could do, she opened the door. Why? One, she was super, super upset. And the second one, his job was to, she said my job was to protect Diddy's image. And him acting like a wild animal out in the court was not doing anybody any favors. She opened the door. He had on a white button-up shirt, a white button-up sweater, gray slacks, and white shoes. I said, isn't it odd that you're wearing the same thing you wear in court? Wow. Funny how the universe is. It's full circle. I literally giggled to myself like, ain't that what you're wearing in court? I guess so, right? Diddy has a thing for button-up sweaters. Arrested.
Oh, yeah, she got in trouble for leaving the house.
Also, Cher Reddy said, love you, Tisa. You're beautiful with the brain, smarts, and humor to back it up. Also,
we passed her. We passed her. We on to something else. Child, you don't get no reaction off of that no more.
I guess I should have sent love before I said hit that like button. Anyway, right? So she said that when he entered, oh, and get this. This is the best part. He was wearing gray slacks, and I was like, where'd they do this there? He said he was wearing gray slacks, but the gray slacks were slit in both legs all the way up to the top so that you can see his underwear. And I said, did he have something like, you got served breakout pants? Like, come on, Zoe, serve them full. I was like, why is he wearing like chaps? Like, why is he wearing pants that are split all the way up to the top on both legs?
Because his feelings was hurt. She was finna get a real man.
Maybe he was having a wild
because Diddy.
I don't know.
Diddy wasn't one.
Right? Anyway, right? Anyway. Y'all think, I know y'all heard the rumors about the Tootsie Roll. Y'all think Diddy be put...
The Tootsie Roll. Shit. Them the type that act the fool like that who really ain't got it going on. Ain't got no but money.
Right? I just got out of court. There was so much that went on. It was such a heavy day.
He gonna be able to pass that Tootsie Roll around when that ass go to prison.
She broke down Diddy's Rico organization. You guys, also, we gotta talk. Cassie just went into labor. I hope the baby's not premature.
She's not premature. Oh.
Stress. This is what Diddy's team was hoping to do, to actually go into the, hopefully that they could keep calling her back. She go into labor.
Shame on Kim, what's her name? Kim Porter for sitting up there having baby. I have never, ever, now that I'm thinking about it, I ain't never understood. Lord, please forgive me. I hope I don't offend nobody. So a sensitive man, can y'all put y'all earplugs in or leave? Because I ain't never been able to understand a men who ain't got no palawaka. Why they have the nerve to, I mean, I just, for some reason, I don't feel like they should, I don't think that they should have a sex drive. I mean, who do they think want that? Am I wrong for that? And them the worst ones. They gotta spoil you. You know, they gotta wine and dine you because they know ain't nobody gonna want them once they see that little thing. And then you forced to have a side piece, I guess, cause you can't feel shit. And he done tickled you, and he done tickled that tickles. That don't tickle. You're not gonna come in here, African motherfucker, and try to disrespect me. You're gonna sit and listen, and you're gonna shut up. You're not gonna have nothing smart and sarcastic to say to me. Now you don't lose. You gonna yeah. Now you would not talk to me like that. I know who the fuck you are. Okay, but you're not gonna talk to me like that. You go play with your mama. Okay. Yeah, bitch. Take your ass on. I knew you was gonna say something smart one time, and I'm gonna get your ass up on out of here. Bye, African motherland. Get your ass up out of here. Y'all say bye to African motherland. I knew he was gonna go too far. I knew he was. I don't care how many you got. Every last one of them, I'ma delete, and then I'ma report you for harassment. African motherland, can you get out? I have removed you twice. Now you are harassing me and bullying. Now, like I was saying, he must got a Tootsie Roll. Because that's how they act. Don't get mad at me. Go find your freezer. What freezer meat? Ain't that what the Punisher said? You need to go find your freezer meat. Yeah. Yeah, you're not gonna come over here and think you're gonna be out of line with me. Oh no. You're gonna sit back and let me talk on my platform. Bye. Yeah, don't nobody want that. Don't nobody want that. So they have to wine and dine. And then somebody go get something somewhere else because you're not pleasing them, then you mad and you want to act a fool. You want to act a fool. And you want to pace around. You want to stalk. You want to put air tags and shit. Yeah. Didn't the Punisher say he had to go get some type of little stent or something? Stem cell?
Baby is healthy. If you guys haven't heard, Cassie has gone into labor. It is unknown whether
stop
it is
that.
premature labor. As soon as I find information, I will talk about that. But we got to talk about Capricorn Clark.
I knew that sector talking would come out.
Okay?
Yeah.
So much stuff happened. The defense had a cross-examination. They were trying to poke holes in Capricorn Clark's testimony. They said, did you say Laura London or Laura Ann Gibson? She was like, I said Lauren. I think they heard Lori Ann. They said, well, you said this.
Well,
you
why?
said that.
What's her name?
Pressuring her, pushing her. Tell us the name of the security person.
Don brought up Lori Ann Gibson.
I don't know the security guy. I think his name is He's Fired. Anyway, you guys, let's get into this because this was so much. And when I tell you it was so heavy, we have to walk through this, okay? Now, where were we? Okay, so let's get into it from the start because I want you guys to go through all these details. Michelle Brannigan, thank you so much for the super chat. I want you guys to go through all these details with me because when I say I feel gross, and I feel gross for Mark Agnifilo, and I feel gross for Diddy's team. Why? Because this was this was high-level gaslighting. This was
where you come from another troll beef section,
and it was high-level trying to ignore all the bad stuff Diddy did.
It's one of the ones I don't fool with on a regular basis that's trying to get in where they fit in and irritate me.
Threaten Capricorn Clark, and all you arguing about is whether she remembers the name of a guard. You're arguing about whether she said she called Lauren London three-way or whether or not while you're being held at gunpoint, while you're scared somebody's about to be... Yeah, okay. Diddy is, Anyway, so where did we last got off? Let's take it from the top. There's so much that happened, but let me take it to the top, okay? Or should we just jump right back in, right?
Jump right back in,
Wanda, thank you for always bringing us these late updates. Okay, so listen. Basically,
I always want somebody to want them. You want,
a hotel room, 3 or 4 days at a time. He would get a 3-point camera system and another small camera. There would always have to be 50 candles, baby oil, lube. There always had to be E. They took that same, like what is it, the black Louis V bag. She would have to pack up, sweep the room. This was in early days. Around 2007, he was doing the same thing with Kim and Cassie. Here's what I want to know. How did Diddy find time to work? How did Diddy find time to work? Because how are you having 3 or 4 day freak-offs? Now, Jonathan Adi, right? Jonathan Adi, it's whatever. You guys, also, just to let you know, I do want to start off with the top of the hour with this. Cassie was rushed to the hospital.
Oh, girl, stop making it seem like she early, because she not.
Cassie was rushed to the hospital while we were in court. Cassie was rushed to the hospital. We are waiting to hear what the updates were. We hope that she was not in premature labor, but it was what it was. 77, thank you so much for the super chat. Honeybee Therapy, thank you for the super chat. Tess Schumann, thank you for the super chat. Again, this mess with Capricorn Clark was so sad, okay? Okay, so where do we start? I told you guys about the fact that Diddy would make fun to everybody. Now, Diddy's ex-assistant, I'm putting together this for you, testified a couple of days ago that Diddy was bragging like, yeah, I got this young John. She be doing anything I want, right? He wasn't just bragging to that. He literally delighted in the control he had over Cassie. While Lauren London, Chef Jordan, and Capricorn Clark were in the kitchen, Cassie wasn't allowed to be with the other women. Diddy called her in and was like, yo, Cassie, come in. She came in like a robot, didn't say anything. He's like, I'm gonna show y'all bees why y'all don't have a man like me, right? He said, come here. She came over. Come here. Sit down. Turn around. Go pick up that remote. Now bring it back. Now turn around. Now do this. He basically told her to get on one leg and bark like a dog. This is why other women are in the room. Cassie didn't say anything. She silently did every command he barked at her, and he was delighting, like, jump on one foot, do this, do that. She did all of that while other women were in the room, and then quietly left. And Diddy was like, that's why you bees don't have any men. And Capricorn Clark was like, you MFing right. Right? Tabletop immediate exclusive. So much, you guys. Make sure you guys follow.
Anyway, let me hold on. Did she come to court by herself today? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Did the mama come to court by herself today? Where her boys? Where her grandboys?
How is Sean holding up? How is Sean holding up his phone? How is the graduation?
Where was the boys?
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Holmes.
Big day today.
Day every day, we create, get this done.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's get it over with.
All right, take care, you guys. Have a good day.
Good morning. Look upstanding.
Oh, she been in them freak offs too. She look like she one of them freak O's, don't she? Pressure. She be high. Okay. Oh, do she? Oh yeah, she a white party girl. The after party.
Morning.
Oh, they can't get enough for her. Oh. Oh, they sick of her, huh? I mean, they sick of... Where the boys at?
Nice day.
Probably because Gene Bill's still there. Every time he show up, they don't show up. I'm trying to see if they're there.
Time in a row they let me live. Wow.
Gene D. They put that big hand. What? I guess they not coming. They didn't come. Let me get back over here because it don't look like they came.
Sobering, right? She did notice that around that time, Cassie increased drug use. Now they were trying to cross-examine and be like, so you mean Cassie took Diddy more into drugland? No, man. Cassie was the one taking 2, 3, 4, however many that Diddy had to make her take. Cassie was the one that being drowned in urine. Cassie was the one that had to do everything. I don't understand. What did Diddy need more rugs for? What did Diddy need? Because from what I can look at it, they're trying to look like Cassie corrupted Diddy. I'm just confused. What did you need the rugs for? Was it
they gotta blame somebody?
Make Cassie be the town bicycle? Was it very upsetting to you and your homeboys that you were taping it and allegedly passing those tapes around? Because at the end of the day, I see why Cassie got into rugs. But with Diddy, it seemed like he was having the best time of his life. So again, I'm wondering, how is this narrative going to spread, Mark Agnifilio? Because Diddy looked like he was having the time of his life. You were the devil. You were the person doing this. So explain to me why you needed more rugs. They still haven't broke that down at all. Do you know what I'm saying? T-Boomer said, why was Diddy at the orphanage place? T-Boomer, we're going to get into that. Sonia B said, love you, Tisa, from the UK. The Sugar Case said, great reported. Much
he was
love
trying to get some new kids.
Sugar Case. And Katie J. Chris said, hardest working woman.
He was trying to bring some kids over.
And Virginia Sell said, thank you so much for the super chat. Now, let me tell y'all something. Because we can skip to the orphanage part, and then we'll come back, okay? For those of y'all that don't follow my breadcrumbs, I'm eating breadcrumbs, okay? Tara Grant said 4K view and get the lights up. It's free. Who's going to testify next? Tomorrow, there is going to be a fire investigator specialist and a bunch of people from the government and a few more other people that's going to testify to the technical stuff. On top of that, the government wants to submit a report that links up with the timeline, all the text they got links up with the timeline. Now, let me just say this, right? In the cross-examination, now we just heard that Diddy was running through people's guns. We just saw him beat Cassie to a pulp again, kick her down the driveway into the street, stomp her out the whole time. Capricorn Clark being blacklisted, scared for her life. Diddy actually settled with Capricorn Clark, but he didn't want anybody to know what that settlement amount was. Something tells me it was a lot. Capricorn Clark effectively showed that she was blacklisted. Chris Lady, 50 Cent's manager, actually hired her, because don't forget, 50 Cent and Diddy had...
She probably got more than all of them.
Chris Lady died the day before she was about to start, and after that, she was pretty much blacklisted until Kingdom Come. In between that, instead of addressing any of that mess, what did he do? He said, did you not know that Diddy was on a trip to Russia? And I said, Russia? Are you on the Trump plan? I said, well, did you not know he was on a trip to Russia to go to an orphanage in Kazakhstan? I said, it sounded like money laundering to me. When's the first or last time y'all remember Diddy going to an orphanage in Kazakhstan? Maybe check his suitcases for unmarked euros. That's all I wanted to say. I said, you're trying to make Diddy look lovable, but instead you sound like a villain. Anyway, Trini Queen said, hey, Tisa girl, you're doing a fabulous job reporting. Thank you so much, Trini Queen. Jerome Street said, nice, thank you so much. Also, Turk Goddess said, said Diddy's going to jail, then headed to hell. Baby, he might go to hell first. He might go to hell first, or as I like to call it, he gonna go back home. Anyway, you guys, this is breaking news if you haven't heard it. We're going to have to take a sidebar. Cassie is in the hospital in the labor unit. They said Cassie is trading the courtroom for the hospital, and it sounds like she may be about to go into labor. Our sources tell us Cassie was rushed to a New York hospital Tuesday, and she's in the labor and delivery unit. Now, it's unknown whether the baby is premature. It is unknown what's happening. We do know that a lot of people said that Diddy's plan was to keep her in court week after week after week so she could go into labor. And if she could go into labor and there wasn't a chance that they could cross-examine her, that would either hold off the trial, have a mistrial, or they could get her testimony struck out. This is what Diddy's team wanted, and she is going into labor. They said Cassie recently testified in the Diddy criminal trial in Manhattan earlier this month, showing up to the court 4 days straight for intense testimony about their relationship. First of all, it wasn't earlier this month, it was a week ago. She had a big baby bump when she took the witness stand, and she was spotted rubbing her belly when she left the courtroom and walked past the jury box. Cassie was about 8 months pregnant when she testified. This is her third pregnancy. A lot of people don't realize pregnancy is 10 months. I know what they say is 40 weeks. It's not 40 weeks. It's actually 10 months of gestation. If Cassie was in only 8 months pregnant, that means the baby might be premature. Now, hear me out where I say, when I say premature, everybody knows that the baby gets all its weight from the last month. The last month in the belly is where the baby gets all the weight. So yeah, the lungs and all that stuff can be fully developed, but the baby can only be 3.5 pounds. You really need that last week or 6 weeks for the baby to start putting on weight. Which is why when they look at pregnant women, they say,
now you're exaggerating.
Right? Listen,
you're exaggerating.
Developing. We do wish smooth, healthy delivery for Cassie, for her to endure too much, for her to have to relive this. And now I never see Cassie being so
Debbie, I don't know what you're saying.
What's going on that stand and didn't let Diddy break her down. Didn't start crying. Not because she didn't feel it, because baby, they just said the 1st of June. She had to do. It was a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad. I'm so glad that Cassie
people have premature babies.
I hope she's healthy.
Have premature babies when they
thank you so much
5, 6 months.
I hope Cassie's healthy. I hope
Maybe
that he's healthy. I hope this didn't send her into early labor. I hope that Sean Diddy Combs and the humiliation he put her through, and everybody that was over the weekend, while she probably was going through labor pains, talking about, oh my God, Cassie was a hoe. Cassie cheated on Diddy. Cassie did this. Why, it's been proven in court that Diddy was cheating on Cassie the whole time. It's been proven in court that Diddy was beating on Cassie the whole time. It is proven in court that Diddy treated her worse than a $5 hooker. He treated her worse than anything the whole time.
They don't care about that.
All people could do was, the week before, literally follow this.
Men can't handle what they bitch out.
People, I believe, put out there, thinking that they could S-shame her, and somehow that would literally invalidate everything that happened. Anyway, Cassie's in labor. Let's get back to this testimony. Mary loves it. Thank you for everything you do. I wait patiently for your updates daily. You're the best.
So they mad at her.
Thank you so much. Also, Paige Collins said, "Child sounds like child banqueting." And Table Talk with Mimi Exclusive said, by the way, the kids went missing after he left Russia. Baby. Letitia Cantel Morrow said, finally caught you live. Amazing job. Thank you so much, you guys. Okay, let's get into this. Rance, thank you so much for the super chat. Also, Confessions of a Rowdy Queen. Please go follow her. Said, finally out the hospital. Thanks for entertaining me while I was in bed. And thank you for making me a better blogger every day. You're my mentor in my head. Listen, we are friends in real life. Y'all make sure y'all follow Confessions of a Reality TV Queen and actually give her something to come back to. Give her those likes and follows. Annabelle said, you look like a star. Gracias, T. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's get into this. Everybody wish Cassie, I hope the baby's not premature, and I hope this isn't the end of Diddy's reign. C. Hayes said, hey, T, so you're so, oh, thank you. Keep up the great reporting. Okay, right? So, sorry, they're graduating citizenship. Renita, thank you so much for the super chat. Okay, so let me get back into what actually happened. God, this was such a heavy day. It is a heavy day, okay? So anyway, she said that, so I told you that she was locked in a room in Broadway, a whole abandoned office building, literally being questioned and saying that she don't answer right. She is going to go into the East River, okay? Mark and them were doing that, blah, 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 blah. She said that she wanted to prove her innocence. Diddy never talked about the lie detector test. He just went whatever, blah, 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 blah. All right? So anyway, let's get into this. Okay, so Diddy had a girlfriend in New York City that got him rugged. She didn't give the girlfriend's name. It wasn't Young Miami because this was back in like 2007. He said that there was one stop. I think one stop is testifying, or I hope he's not still alive, because one stop, if you're not testifying, you are definitely going to jail with charges. They said one stop supplied him in LA. He gave him X and Molly to either Capricorn Clark or Diddy directly. Diddy always told Capricorn to ask for the rugs. They were delivered either to Capricorn's house or to him directly. Diddy gave rugs to his girlfriends and to friends, right? In the summer of 2006, he asked her to get him some. They were in the south of France, and he asked for, yo, Cap, give me some Colombian dancing dust. Cap's thing was like, for who, right? And Diddy said, not me, ninja, right? And he said that he had like a bunch of friends and their bodyguards that he needed to get Colombian dancing dust to, right? Listen, he said he also needed pills. Now again, people might roll their eyes, but this goes into the RICO. You have your employees securing rugs so you can keep people inebriated. She also let something slip that Diddy was literally, the reasons why everything had to start going in her name is because in Miami, where Diddy had a Star Island 2 house, or even Star Island 1, Diddy was banned from getting any more prescription pills because he had maxed out his limit. So everything had to start going into Capricorn Clark's name. You see what I'm saying? We are getting RICO, but baby, that's just the tip of the iceberg. She said that, he said that Diddy never touched that stuff. Vivian, thank you so much for the money for the coffee.
Yeah,
Diddy
everybody doing dirty work.
But one thing he did say is that he kept the party going. Again, this goes into coercion. Zenith Yasina Buzzle said, where's Ava B, Dr. Doyer? They have not talked about this.
It's a half wig.
C. Coelho Arson is the assistant. Mia Christian KK Corn.
It's a half
Really
wig.
quick, I no longer think it's KK because my legacy media friends pointed out a big problem. Nida Ferguson, thank you so much for the super chat. Mia is anonymous. They have been using Capricorn Clark's name a lot. Mia is not Mia is not KK. However, I firmly believe that KK is going to testify 100%, and I believe she's testifying for the prosecution, but time will tell. Dylan Decker, thank you so much for the super chat. SP, again, to answer your question, KK is testifying, but she is not Mia. Sonia Zolkar, thank you so much for the super chat. And also, I want to thank D-Shell said, is One Stop Brendan Paul? No, One Stop is not Brendan Paul. They actually showed a picture of One Stop. He is black. It is not Brendan Paul, and this is from like the whole 2006 to 2010 era. I don't think Brendan Paul was around for that long. Okay, let's get back into the One Stop. He going to jail. I said, I hope you testify, because with a name like One Stop, what is...
Gotta get my likes up.
He never touched it. He said that after they came back from Europe, he had large amounts of cash. They were like, what's large? She said, large. What? She said it was 100K euros. Now, back then, 100K euros, because the euro was stronger than $1, 100K euros was like 150,000 cash. Brown, thank you so much for the super chat. They said that he took it home, he gave it to he got it from Club.
It's halfway. It starts in the middle.
It's giving money laundering. And somebody made a good point.
It starts in the middle.
Right? Because I want to talk about this. Somebody said that Diddy's case might be like Al Capone. It is no secret that the government wanted to investigate Diddy for a couple of years. They were going into money laundering. They were going internationally. They
we talked about this already.
Bill Cosby on...
The biggest mistake that keeps you from winning the lottery isn't bad luck. It's insisting on playing random numbers.
A button-up sweater like Bill Cosby on the top, No. He was Cliff Huxtable on the top, Bill Cosby on the bottom. You know what I'm talking about, right? She said he busted into the house with a... So then she said that... Listen, she said then, like... Listen, he said, then he busted into the house, and he was holding the gat. Like, yo. And he's holding the gat. He holding it, and he's waving it around, right? He's like, yo. Why didn't you tell me? And she's like, tell you what? Now, mind you, she is being being woken up. So she's like, tell you what? And he's like, why didn't you tell me? He said, I don't know. She said, I don't know what you're talking about, right? He said, Somebody said, love your reaction. Show us, girl. Somebody's screaming. I'm being nosy.
Take this church. No white boy.
Okay, Missy Elliott, thank you so much for the super chat. Sorry, I had to take somebody's screaming. Y'all know I gotta listen. I might have to run soon. Super chat, so I'm half listening just in case I gotta run. Anyway, right? She said, why didn't you tell me? Now he's waving the gap. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me? And she's like, what are you talking about? And he said, I don't know. So then she said, why didn't you tell me that he was, she's like, what are you talking about? He said, why didn't you tell me that you were about Scott? And she was like, who the F is Scott? And he was like, why didn't you tell me about Cudi? And no, he said, you don't know Cudi? And she's like, oh, Kid Cudi, that's Cassie's friend. Why? What do you say? Natural, he said, where's your phone stand Melissa gave you? Best believe that Diddy is plotting on everyone right now. Listen, shout out to Melissa. The phone stand is laying on it's laying in my house on the table. Sorry, Melissa, I'm gonna bring it tomorrow. Old habits die hard, right? So anyway, she said, oh, you mean Cassie's friend? He was like, yeah. He waving the gun around. He said, yo, get dressed. We going to go kill this ninja tonight with a gun in hand. She was like, I don't want to go. He said, I don't give a F what you want to do. Go get dressed, right? So she said that she went into her closet and that's where she got dressed. Diddy was in the kitchen. But she did say that, but she said that the kitchen and the closet shared a wall, right? Alina said, love your reaction. Thank you. So, you know what? This guy is going off, and I feel like my uncle who's in the Nation of Islam, and it's Thanksgiving dinner, and he's making some points, but 35% of it is just like wackadoodle. Listen, Janie Brown said, you go, girl, the hair is flawless. Thank you. It's a half wig, baby. These half wigs are saving my life. And Jerome Street said, you take notes and fast with it. Okay, so, listen, okay, so getting back into this, he's like, I'm gonna F, you better get dressed. She ran to her closet to get dressed. There is a thin wall. Oh, hey, how are you? Thank you. What's your name? Shout out to MJ. You look so beautiful, Mama. I love everything. Make sure you listen. Send me a DM so we can follow each other on Insta. Okay. So anyway, sorry guys. She got real good jewelry. Hey, what's up, guys? What's up? Hold on, really quick. What's up? I'm on live right now. Hold on, guys. Let's do a quick photo. Okay. Ready? Let's do a quick photo.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Okay, guys.
Take live donations.
No live donations. You done enough. Okay, sorry, guys. I'm back. Hold on. No live donations. It's cool. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you so much, though. We were going to have you on for an interview, though. So listen. So he said, I don't give a F, you better get dressed. She's dressed in the closet, jumbling, because there is a ninja acting furious and out of touch. She said she's never seen anything like it. She never seen him hold a weapon, never seen that much anger, never even saw this ninja at the house. And she said the way he was acting, she knew that anything could happen. So she followed the instructions. She said that, and this is so scary, she said that when they walked out, right, she walked in front of Diddy. Can I tell you, the way my heart would be on the ground if I had to walk in front of someone that I knew was angry, upset, and asking me about my friend and some guy she might be talking to, and he's acting radically, and I'm walking in front of him like there's a gun. I would have broke down crying on my knees, no, not on your knees in front of Diddy. He might get some thoughts. Did he look like he into some weird stuff? It'd have been not the time. But when I say I would have been shaking, petrified, I would have thought that I was walking to my death. With each step, I would have had to literally been pray to God with each step. So I don't even know how she even got it. She said that Diddy followed behind her, and then she went into the car on one side, and Diddy got into the other side. They were both in the back seat. Usually Diddy rode in the front passenger seat. They were both in the back seat. Diddy had a gun on his lap. It was Ruben and D-Rock's little brother, right? The driver's seat. It was executive class Escalade. D-Rock's little brother Ruben was the driver. Diddy sat right next to her. The gun was in his lap the whole effing time. And she said that she couldn't leave the Escalade. It happened so fast, so quickly. She said there was no combo. It happened so quickly. They went to Kid Cudi's house. They said it was a 15, 20-minute drive from her house to Kid Cudi's house if there was no traffic. And you know that thing with LA, if there was no traffic because it was early in the morning, but y'all know how he lived in Wonderland in the Hollywood Hills. Anybody that's been on there, you know, yeah, no, right? Kim Larkin said T for Tisa, one of the hardest independent media outlets. Thank you so much. And Ty Talks Everything said Tisa sending prayers for blessings and protections, doing what I can to help you stay in the courtroom. Oh, thank you. To the end of the trial, you are inspiring. Thank you, Ty Talks Everything. Thank you. Murder Shibley said you're awesome when you network with your folks. Thank you so much. Okay, so, right? They're driving, right? They put the map up in the courtroom. I don't know why. Mark Agdafilio on Cross tried to make an issue out of the map, which was really weird. And it's like, you could tell Mark ain't never leave New York. He was like, you said the Cudi went up the hill. But isn't it true that it's a dead end? And the funny thing is, I've been around that way. Not at Cudi's house. Don't y'all starting rumors. But I was like, wait a second. I've been up that hill. And what are you talking about? It's a dead end. It's not a dead end, especially where Cudi lives. It's not a dead end. So they were like, isn't it true it's a dead end? So how did you guys chase him up and come back? And she was like, because it's not a dead end. He made a left. Like, what are you talking about? And everybody is sitting there like, what are you talking about? Then he showed her a map with no street names on it. And she's like, can you let me know where Mulholland Drive is? Like, I can't get oriented. But even from that, I was looking like, girl, you don't even need to see Mulholland. I see where Kid Cudi's house is, and I see all the ways he could make a left or right or up and down. So I was like, okay, nice try, Diddy. And Mark Agdafilio backed off of that. He was like, never mind, let's just leave it. And I was sitting there like, yeah, just leave it, Mark. Anyway, right? So then she was like, she said, so then they said they took her in front of the house. Now, in the gate, right by the gate, they pulled up right by the gate. She says that they bust through the gate, went into his house, right? And she was able to see in front of the house because where they were parked, you could see straight through. And I believe that because if I'm running up to somebody's house, I'm going to park my car right in the middle. So if anybody tries to run up because I'm in their house and they might try to hurt me, I want to see which way they're coming. So it made sense. She said she could look open into the courthouse. She wasn't lying because she said she
they better stop going in people's house.
Inside of Kid Cudi and all the furniture. They said that they got access via the main door. At that point, she called Cassie on the burner phone. Now, Mark Agdafilio did testify and was like, yo, when he was cross-examining her, oh my God, restive life hacks at Yana. Exactly. So here's the part where it got a little weird. So Mark Agdafilio was testing her and he was like, yo, you said you called Cassie, and she was like, yeah. And she was like, what did you say? And she's like, oh, Diddy just came to my house. He got a gun. He grabbed me, and we're at Cudi's house, and he said he's gonna kill him. This is exactly what he said. And she's like, oh, well, how come Cassie and Kid Cudi didn't say the thing? And she's like, you don't want them to know that there was a gun. And she was like, I said it. And she's like, I was just saying it super fast because I didn't want Diddy to come out and see me actually warning y'all. So then Mark was like, oh, so you said it that quick? You would have think you would say there is a gun. And she was like, it wasn't about Cassie and Kid Cudi at that point. I didn't know Kid Cudi was in the house, but I was afraid that something was going to happen to me. I was trying to warn Cassie, get it out, hope to God that Kid Cudi wasn't around.
Okay.
And I said it really quickly. And Mark Agdafilio, oh, so you didn't say there's a gun. You didn't say it's solely.
I couldn't stand this type of
Aaron says, can you move the F alone? What don't you understand?
They don't have a defense.
A million times. It wasn't about their safety at that point. I was afraid he was going to do something to me. Because at the end of the day, Cudi wasn't in that car being held at gunpoint. Cassie wasn't in the car being held at gunpoint.
Who was on a high-speed chase?
So what are we really doing, you know? Natural C said G-Rock needs to be on the stand. Granted, he knows a lot. G-Rock is going to be probably testifying for Whitney. Diddy, I think he's probably going to be indicted as a co-conspirator. Timmy Payton, welcome to the Tattletales fam, right? So anyway, right? Listen, so also, I do want to say this. In what world do we live in? That even if somebody is, let's just say, two-timing you, that you can bust into their house, take people hostage, hold them at gunpoint, break into people's houses, and then wave around and act crazy. Anyway, let's get into that. And anyway, right? So they said that, so Mark Agdafilio was like, so you didn't clearly say, and she was like, I was trying to save myself. So then he made a big issue issue about? Was Lauren London on the phone? And she's like, I think I called Lauren London first. Why wouldn't you call Cassie first? And she's like, because it wasn't about Cassie at that point. It was about me. I was trying to get my head together. I thought something would happen. But then
going after Diddy, or they was going, or they was chasing him?
Is breaking down in tears.
Or was Kid Cudi chasing him?
Like, this is a very painful memory. There was a lot of pain in this, right? So then all of a sudden, she was like, wait, Lauren London might have been on the phone, and maybe Lauren London called Cassie three-way. Maybe. But she didn't know. But even then, I'm like, okay, Mark, Lauren London was on the phone. She wasn't on the phone three-way call. Oh, okay, but was Diddy...
Is Lauren London going to be caught on the thing?
Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or... Okay, let's move on, okay? So anyway, listen, when she called Cassie and she's like, this and that, blah, 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 Kid Cudi, she heard him in the background saying, he's in my house? The funny thing is, Mark Agnifilio kept in a trip up Capricorn Clark, but her testimony was so, it was so consistent and so strong, and the things she remembered, I'm like, even if there's little things that she might not remember clearly, you remember the bulk of what happened. You know when somebody's telling a story, it's like, okay, maybe she was wearing a red shirt instead of a yellow. Maybe it's not. But I'll tell you one thing, it was definitely happening, right? Anyway, Kid Cudi yelled, she's in my house. Listen, so Cassie, she told Cassie, stop him. He's going to get himself murked, right? She called back. So anyway, she hung up the phone. And she said she changed Cassie's number in her phone to her best friend's number. She said she don't know why. She wasn't thinking clearly. And I'm with her too. Like, you don't make the best decisions when a crazy lunatic has a bang bang. Mark Agnifilio was like, did Diddy seem high to you? And she was like, I don't know, but he was acting erratically. Which proved my point. So now all of a sudden you violent, you got a gun, you're doing this and that. And you might be high. Yeah, this could be the last time I'm on Earth. So, okay, right? She said Diddy came back out and was like, yo, call Cassie back, right? And off of that number, because he looked through his phone and saw the last number she called. Dummy, why didn't you delete? But again, she was scared. He told her to call that number back. She called the number Cassie picked up. He said, B, what the F is this number, right? She said at that point, Diddy went ballistic, right? And she said, there's that. So anyway, he said that Kid Cudi then pulled up on Diddy's Escalade and looked in at them. And then Diddy was like, there's that ninja right there, right? And they said they started chasing Kid Cudi. Now, a lot of people said, how come they didn't say anything? A lot of people said, how come they didn't say anything to Kid Cudi, right? Well, how come Kid Cudi didn't say this in testimony? But Kid Cudi's testimony was very, very limited by sidebars. Design by Phoebe said, I'd love to do an interview about Stockholm. I make jewelry and love to send you some. Thank you, Design by Phoebe. Phoebe? Thank you so much. Anyway, thank you for the super chat too. We'll talk. So anyway, they said, ready? So anyway, hold on, you guys. I'm gonna keep talking while I'm doing. Oh, thank you so much. Hold on, guys. I have to walk while I do this. What's up?
No, I'm speaking because one of your mods told me to come make sure you're alright because somebody's messing with you.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, see.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, my job. Someone messing with me. So I'm on it now.
Oh, no, I'm good. Thank you. Say hi. Hold on, guys.
How you doing? It's official Dana J from the Dream Team.
That's right. Make sure y'all follow. Okay, Tammy. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. So I have to walk because I'm on my way out of here, but we're going to have to walk and talk, right? Hey, how are you? Hey, we're just leaving. Say hi.
Hey, Kane Life.
Miss Tal, she is
5 months.
Oh, thank you.
Sweet tea.
Thank you so much. Okay, guys, so we're going to have to walk and talk, right?
Woo! Give it up for Kane Life. You've been a member for 5 months.
So we have to walk and talk. I hope that's what they use to assassinate me. They're going to have a picture of me before
Thank you.
They're going to be like, get her now. Okay, so listen. So then we're walking and talking. Hold on. So, okay, thanks. So they were like, okay, the Sunset Boulevard. Oh, so then they said that Kid Cudi lost him, right? As I see it, said, I don't see how this
so they were chasing Kid Cudi.
Oh, y'all, it gets worse. So they said that Kid Cudi lost him. They start chasing Kid Cudi's car. Kid Cudi lost him, right? They said they saw the police heading in the direction to Kid Cudi's house, and they were like, yo, just forget about it, right? And that's when they said that Diddy actually calmed down, right? They said they stopped at the Key Club. Now, on that they were like, well, it was so stressful. Why would he stop at like the club? And she's like, no, you don't understand. We stopped at the Key Club parking lot. We didn't actually go in the Key Club. We just stopped at the parking lot, right? And then they said that they went to Sunset Boulevard, it was at Sunset Boulevard, west of Kid Cudi's house, right? They said Key Club used to be Key Club, the One Oak, now it's Key Club again. I don't know, I ain't never been to the Key Club, but you already know I'm not too mixy. Anyway, they called Cassie, and get this what Capricorn Clark says. He said he has me, and he won't let me go until you come get me. She literally said he has me, and he won't let me go till you come get me, right? Now, listen, the whole time she was doing that, Diddy was... Okay, so hold on a second. So they said the whole time Diddy was standing by the window while Capricorn was calling Cassie, being like, they won't let me go until you come get me. So they basically, like a mob boss, this is a RICO, this is a sex trafficking, this goes beyond TV. He wouldn't let Capricorn Clark go. He wouldn't let Capricorn go until Diddy gave he wouldn't let Capricorn Clark go. Are we going this way? Okay, he wouldn't let Capricorn go until Diddy gave him, until Cassie came and gave her herself. And when she paid dearly for it. This story gets dark, triggered moaning, right?
Oh, yeah,
and then Cassie said, okay, I'll come get you. Could you imagine you about to have your ass done? And the only way that you can save your girlfriend that's been covering up for you, the only way that you can actually save your girlfriend is by sacrificing yourself, and you're about to get beat up, and beat up she got. Like, this is actually really sad to think that this testimony happened while her new baby boy is coming into the world. Anyway, she said, and they said, how did Cassie sound? And they were like, yo, Cassie sounded super, super calm, right? So then Ruben...
So she was used to the ass whooping by then.
Hold on a second. So then Ruby... Okay, hold on 1 second, guys. Yeah, I'm leaving. Oh, are you gonna be here tomorrow?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have a pin?
Yeah.
Here, Richard. Hold on, guys. I'm networking. Hold on. What's your name? Oh, God.
Sorry,
No problem. Hold on. I'm networking, y'all.
Hey, it's Danita Chantel with Bella Magazine and the Live It Up TV show on CBS Local, New York.
I know, that's right. Sorry. No problem. Okay, here. I'm just taking our contact info, then I'll get back to the story. It gets really, really good, guys. Hold on. But I gotta keep the lights on. Hold on, y'all. Danita. No, I'm gonna text it to you as soon as I'm offline. Okay. I'm always trying to take somebody's pen.
Okay.
All right, girl. Thank you. Okay, so hold on, y'all. So I'm leaving. Hi, guys. Okay, so listen. Okay, so thank you. So, okay, are we back? Okay, let's finish this story. All right. Hold on really quick. C. Allen said, thank you for the day-to-day updates. Tisa, hope New York is treating you well. Prayers for Cassie and the healthy baby. Double tap screen hit like title tell so you can get notified on time. I know that's right. Also, Queen Breen said, from one queen to another, keep standing on business. Tisa, love you. Stay safe. Thank you. And SPV Charles said, I've been following since they said Audie was a meth, finally caught you live. Oh, thank you. You're the most trusted voice on this trial. Thank y'all so much for the sweet praises. Okay, so let me get into this, all right? Y'all gonna have to see up my nose for a second while I'm suiting up. Safety first. Okay, so when we last left, somebody said Suge Knight's gonna be the baby's godfather and good reporting. I had to get out of there, y'all.
Yeah, because they rude and disrespectful.
So let me keep this close. Okay, so anyway, right? So when we last left our beleaguered demon, Diddy made Capricorn Clark go and get Cassie and say, you got to trade Capricorn. Again, Diddy is a demon. He is a demon. He is a demon. So anyway, this is after he said that he was going to kill everybody. Oh, so here's what it is, right? So Ruben took her to Diddy's house, right? She said Ruben took her to Diddy's house, and they said once you get Cassie, convince. Oh, that's another thing. He also told her that listen, once you get Cassie here, he told Capricorn Clark, you better convince Cassie to tell Kid Cudi to not tell the police it was me, because if he does, I'm gonna.
You could have 1 million followers and still not be able to pay your bills.
Over 1 million creators and brands are growing faster and all of you.
Hold on, ma'am. Tennessee country. First of all, did you come in speaking? No. So now you're talking about somebody must have Android. Did you donate? Or you just in here to troll? Do you know I don't do trolls over here? So if you don't like whatever device, because I have several here. Donate or shut up. Because you're being rude and disrespectful. I don't joke over here. I make the jokes, not you. Y'all say bye to Tennessee country. Get your country funky bunking ass on. Bye. Yeah. You ain't gonna talk noise and don't donate. You can keep your opinion to yourself. When you over here eavesdropping, getting the tea on. Yeah. Ain't no joke. You better know who you joking with. How about that? Beat your feet.
And she said, so she got Cassie from the Sunset Marquee. That's the hotel that Kid Cudi had put Cassie up in when he was running from Diddy. He said she got her from the Sunset Marquee, and they went to Cudi's house, right? And they stayed there for 2.5 hours trying to convince Cudi not to talk to the police or tell everybody what happened. Now this goes into the fact that Cudi might be like, yo, she played all of this and that, because at the end it looked like Cassie was siding with Diddy, but really, according to Capricorn Clark, Cassie was trying to save Kid Cudi's life. I know, right? Mark, I can tell you,
I do not know why it look like that.
About him going to kill Kid Cudi from testimony, right?
But you gonna beat your feet.
So then Cassie said, do you really think he will do this, right? And Kid Cudi's mind was blown, and Capricorn Clark was like, yes, girl, I've been with him for the longest, right? So Cassie and Capricorn went back to Diddy's house around 11:30 a.m. Mind you, this mess has been going on since 5:30 a.m. I'm not a morning person, but can you imagine all this mess going on, and it's not even 12 in the afternoon? Diddy is too much drama. Anyway, Diddy and Ruben were at
She called somebody too much drama. Can y'all believe that?
Diddy was in a robe and underwear. He probably couldn't decide whether he wanted to have a freak off or not, or maybe he thought this was foreplay. Maybe he thought he was learning. Diddy was robe and underwear, right? He then went and kicked Cassie full force in her thigh and leg. They said he never used his hands. Ninja thinks he's Bruce Lee. He repeatedly kicked her. Cassie, with each kick, her crouching lower and lower and lower until she was finally in a fetal position. He kicked her more and more and more. They started in the vestibule of his house, and they kicked her. They started in the vestibule of the house, and they kicked her. He kept kicking her out into the courtroom. He kicked her all the way down to the street. Mind you, he was kicking her full force, and she was covering her face. She was in a fetal position, and her face back in her thighs. When I say that everybody's eyes had teared up, he kicked her so bad all the way up to the street. They said it was a good 20 or 50 feet that he kicked her. The whole time she was laying in the ground in fetal position, crying silently. He was kicking her in the back, in the butt. Every kick, she was 5 feet away. Following it. They said that Ruben, the security, was also following it too. Capricorn looked like she was going to try to grab Cassie. He said, B, if you jump in, I'll F you up too. Capricorn Clark said she stayed out of it. She said Ruben did nothing. Capricorn Clark called D-Rock furiously, saying, tell your brother this. Ruben, the security guard, is D-Rock's little brother. He called D-Rock and was like, yo, tell your brother to tell him to stop hurting her. He's kicking the ish out of Cassie. He then called Paul and was like, can you come get him? He's going to hurt, like he's literally, he is hurting her. DJ Paul said, I'll handle it. Nobody did anything, right? When he heard her on the phone crying to security, can somebody do something? Diddy told her, a matter of fact, you get the F out of my house. And they had grabbed her from her house. Diddy lived so far away in the hills. They told her, a matter of fact, you get the F out, and she had to walk home. She said that she was like, when you were walking down the street, because he had kicked Cassie and was stomping her in the middle of the street, he wasn't just kicking her, he was stomping her. she could look over her shoulder and see and hear what was going on. She said it chilled her to the bone. She could see it until the very end. Cassie was still on the ground, still getting the hell kicked out of her. Kevin Whitley said, new member, thank you for your hard work. Keep us informed in Alaska. Thank you so much.
Oh, man,
now,
he's
here's
dirty.
the thing. She said she was so scared and she didn't know what to do. She actually called Regina Ventura. Regina Ventura is Cassie's mom. She said she called her. Imagine getting this call as a mom. She called her and she's like, he's beating the ish out of your daughter. I'm in over my head. I can't call the police, but you can. All right?
She in over her head.
Mom was like, yo, I'm going to handle it, and hung up. Now, here's the thing. Mark Agnafilio on the cross tried to make a big thing. Oh, and why didn't you call the police? And she said, I didn't call the police because of the Kid Cudi threat. Remember, he just said that if any of us talk to the police, he's going to murk us all. So I put it in Cassie's mom's hands because she felt helpless. And let's be real. I feel where Capricorn Clark was. I hope I'm never in that position. But at what point can you not save the victim and you might be the person that gets hurt? Especially because Diddy and Cassie, she's always right back up under them. Now, we know she's an abused woman, but it's kind of like all these grown men in security, nobody was doing anything, and everybody's looking at Capricorn Clark to be Superwoman. Get out, right? Anyway, she said that after that, she went and saw Cassie in the Cipriani Hotel, right? Hera Coppola said, this is so sad. It truly is. She went and saw Cassie in the Cipriani Hotel. She said the room was in complete disarray. There was no broken furniture, but her clothes were thrown out, things were thrown around. They said, then they read, Shay had her while she was in tears read the Cassie threats email. That's the email that Cassie wrote her mom and Capricorn.
That's what happens when you play with Tootsie Rolls.
Me and Kid Cudi, and he'll do it while he's out of town, and the fact that he's going to release 2 freak off videos. Melody Manifest said, hi, beautiful. I curate affirmative music. Affirmation music. You guys follow Melody Manifest if you guys need some music. Inspirational music. DDF, thank you so much for the super chat. Now, here's the thing, right? So then the threats email happened, and I'm like, how can anyone not see the RICO? How can you not see the crime boss?
They see that RICO.
How can you not see that? I think this is the Al Capone theory, where Diddy's into some vile, dirty stuff. And right now they can get him on the sex trafficking and they can get him on the RICO, and that's enough to send him away for life. So just like they took Al Capone down for the tax fraud, because you can be guilty of both, I think that's what they're doing, taking Diddy down, right? Also, they said that Cassie sent that email about threats a day after beating. This goes into the RICO. Coercion. You beat her to a pulp. She ran to her mom's. She was breaking up with you. Kid Cudi came out and visited. You wanted her back. You threatened if she didn't come back for that more abuse, that you were going to release the Smex tapes. Diddy's a piece, and this is after he beat her down. And for anybody being like, she cheated, you're probably an abuser too, because when does that justify doing anything? Anyway, they said an arson investigator contacted her in December 2012. He wanted her to make a statement about Kid Cudi's car. She said she didn't provide a statement. She actually hung up the phone on the investigator. She said she just wanted it over and done with, and she thought making a statement would make it worse. She never discussed the arson prior to the phone call and didn't discuss it after. Mark Agnafilio kept making a big thing saying, oh, so an investigator hung up and you didn't even have the common respect to give a statement to the police. Mark, who are you fooling? If she had made a statement, Diddy would probably be under the jail and you wouldn't have the millions you fleeced out of him. Mark, please be for real, for real, for real. Now all of a sudden you're an upstanding citizen, Mark, and you're mad. Yana, she hung up on the police. Like, Diddy's team's just all over the place. Like, I get it. Listen, she said that, so then when Diddy was asking her, when did you know about this and why didn't you tell me? And she was like, I didn't know. They were in the talking phase. And he said, I should kill you bees and I should cut her face. I repeat, he told Capricorn Clark, I should blank you bees and I should cut up Cassie's face. They said that in that time, he made 50 threats between December 11th and December 2012 to her. D-Rock and Cassie were present for some of the threats. D-Rock questioned, and they said, well, what did D-Rock do? And she said nothing. D-Rock started jumping in with Diddy questioning, how come you didn't say anything? What's been going on?
Okay, hold on.
Doubled down what Diddy was saying in the moment about he should murk them.
Before I go, let me see this.
Diddy also told her and Cassie that they couldn't be friends anymore. They said after that the relationship changed, right? She reported the incidents to Michelle, I don't know, some guy, and also Harvey Pierre. Harvey Pierre told her in March 2020.
He ought to be next. Oh, I heard that. Didn't somebody say he's suing him? Hold on. What is this right here? Which one is this? Hold on. Before I run out of juice. Because I'm not going to hold my phone. Which one is this? Yeah, that's it.
I was babysitting for a very famous family.
Who was the loser today?
That you sure know. Whenever my boss.
She said that when Diddy found out that she previously had worked for Death Row Records, he said, well, look, if anything goes wrong, I might have to kill you. She was accused of this lie detector test. And the person, she said that when Diddy found out that she previously had worked for Death Row Records, he said, if anything goes wrong, I might have to kill you. She was accused. So they give her this lie detector test. And the person who was giving her the lie detector test said,
YB? No, YC.
Wow. She says this is her testimony.
Yo, Cap, thank you.
If you fail, they're going to throw you into the East River. So, day 10 of testimony in the Diddy trial. Before we get to the testimony, one of the things we got to talk about, maybe the bigger story overall, not for the trial so much, but the star witness, Cassie Ventura. We broke a story this morning that she was in a hospital in New York City, in the labor unit. We don't know yet if she has actually given birth. This was about the right time from what we've been told. She was actually, her due date was sometime last week. And we know that the judge, she was testifying that week, said we can absolutely not bring her back beyond these 5 days. And we know that was because there were concerns she would go into labor in court, and that would really throw things off. So last week being the due date, this week, I gotta say, we did get one source telling us that there were some complications when she went to the hospital. Now, we don't know that means there's anything absolutely wrong with the baby. Again, this seems to be about the time that she would be expected to give birth, but we don't have an update yet. She was in the hospital, so keep checking the website. Obviously, when she gives birth, we will have that. Now, to the testimony, and Cassie was a big part of the testimony today. The person who was on the stand was a woman named Capricorn Clark, and we had heard references to her last week during testimony from one of Diddy's ex-assistants. Capricorn Clark is also a former assistant. She worked at Bad Boy Records. She was first hired in 2004, and for 2 years she was Diddy's personal assistant. Later, she became a global brand director for Bad Boy. That was in 2008 to 2012. She was also working on some of the Sean John clothing line. And then her final role was as creative director for Cassie. And she worked very closely with Cassie and spoke a lot about Cassie today. So you would think that she had this close relationship with Cassie, so she had a lot of positive things to say. Not so much. In fact, she kind of downplayed Cassie's talent as an artist. This came up during cross-examination. And keep in mind, Mark Agnifilo, Diddy's lead attorney, was doing the cross-examination. And his goal here is to poke holes in the credibility of Capricorn Clark. Again, remember, had some very damning things to say as far as personal death threats. We're going to get to that. But this was an entertaining part of the testimony because, remember, Mark Agnifilo, as I said, wants to make it seem like she's not a very credible witness. Like, she has an axe to grind with Diddy, and that's why she's saying all these
Yeah, I need 5 more lights. Come on.
So he got into her relationship with Cassie as an artist. And remember, as her creative director, she would have a lot of information about this. And what Capricorn Clark ended up saying was that, look, I think Cassie is somewhat talented, I said, actually what she said is she has some talent, but I wouldn't say she's talented. And she went on, that may seem like an oxymoron, but how can she have some talent but not be talented? She said the people she thinks of as being talented are like Mariah Carey. I mean, basically what she was saying is she's not a great singer, but she's a very attractive woman, referred to her as a model, which she was. And she was basically saying she's better off as a model than a singer, but I don't think of her as being a great talent when it comes to actually singing. So that wasn't great for Cassie. But Agnifalo's point here was trying to make it seem like Capricorn had issues not only with Diddy, but with Bad Boy in general. And he may have had some success with that. He also raised the fact that made it seem to the jury like Capricorn might have been jealous because she had a crush on Diddy. There was a moment where he showed a text message, and I want to get this right. I believe he said, you referred to him as chocolate, that she and her friends referred to Diddy as chocolate. They thought he was attractive. Again, that's his way of saying, you know, take what she's saying with a grain of salt because she's just upset that she didn't have a close relationship with Diddy the way Cassie did. You know, he brought up the fact that that Capricorn made note of how close Cassie and Diddy got once he moved to LA after Kim Porter's death, and he moved to LA to be closer to his kids. He said that Cassie and Diddy, she testified that Cassie and Diddy were very close, and Agnifalo wanted to make it seem like that's what she was jealous about. Anyway, I don't know how successful he was in that because if you're asking me, the moment of the day was certainly Capricorn talking about her time working at Bad Boy Records. And from the get-go, from Jump Street, this seemed like a really sketchy organization. At least that's the way she made it seem like this was a sketchy and dangerous organization to be working for. And what we're going to get into here is racketeering. What she testified about really starts to bring home racketeering charges, because we've talked about this last week. I know Harvey has been very, very skeptical of whether or not the prosecution had enough evidence to make the racketeering charge stick. I don't think he thinks that anymore after what Capricorn said today. We talked a lot about it on TMZ Live. And the reason is, she says the day she was hired, that Diddy threatened her life. And that's because he found out that she used to work for Death Row Records. Remember, this is back in the early 2000s, 2004. And Bad Boy Records versus Death Row Records, East versus West, this is a huge thing. So she said that when Diddy found out that she previously had worked for Death Row Records, he said,
hi, Tracy.
Well, look, if anything goes wrong, I might have to kill you. Now, obviously you go like, well, wait, was he joking? Was that sort of a joking thing? And she said, no, she took it very seriously. So right from the get-go, this is going to be a very dangerous role for her, right? Because everything she does is under a microscope. She also testified about a moment that she was given a lie detector test. As she described it, she was taken to a sort of dilapidated building, and Diddy was not there, but he had, as she puts it, some henchmen who were there and giving her this lie detector test because she was accused of stealing some jewelry that I'm guessing
the lynchman
event, maybe an award show that she was accused of stealing. So they give her this lie detector test. And the person who was giving her the lie detector test said, this is, wow. She says this is her testimony. The examiner said, if you fail, they're going to throw you into the East River. So that immediately draws a picture, a mafiosa picture, really, right? That's the thing you always see in TV shows and movies is like, all right, we're going to put some cement shoes on you, throw you in the East River.
Cement
People
shoes.
in New York get that reference. And she says that's what was told to her by this examiner. You may look at this and go like, okay, why are you still working with this company, right? If you're getting these threats, why are you working with this company? Well, for one thing, Bad Boy Records at that time was a company you would want to work with if you're in the music industry, and that was Capricorn's trade, working in the music industry. So that's why she wants to be there. Also, you got to imagine that Diddy has already from day one told you he's skeptical of anything you do. He thinks you might be a double agent or something. And so if you just decide you're going to obviously you're going to raise eyebrows and you're going to raise attention from Diddy, who may be wondering what you did, why you have to quit. So I get why she stayed. And again, she has, big positions with this company. So the personal threats beyond that, I want to say the personal threats really paint a picture of, and Harvey kept saying this last week, I don't see classic racketeering. I don't see the kind of racketeering evidence that you see in a mafia case. Well, I don't know, telling someone you're going to put them in the East River, telling someone if this doesn't work out, you might have to die. And then, so that all certainly sounds mafia-like. And then we get to the Kid Cudi incident, because Capricorn Clark was right in the middle of all of that. And she testified about what happened leading up to the Kid Cudi incident. So Capricorn testified that in December, Diddy shows up at her home, banging on the door. She opens the door, he has a gun, and he says, "Who the hell is Scott?" Scott is Kid Cudi's given name, and it's clear to her that Diddy has now figured out that Cassie and Kid Cudi are dating. So that's when he goes over to Cudi's house, according to her, and according to testimony we heard last week, that he breaks into Cudi's house, he is rifling through everything. Capricorn is sitting outside, and she calls Cassie to let her and Cudi know what's going on. She says that she called Cassie's burner phone and immediately changed the name so that nobody would know that's who she had called. But what she testified today is that that Diddy comes out and sees her phone, sees the last number called, and gets suspicious. So he calls the phone, and Cassie picks up, and Diddy goes, "What is this phone?" Says something like to the effect of, "What is this number? Why do you have this number?" He's pissed now. He's pissed at Cassie. He's pissed clearly at Capricorn, and he's already broken into, according to the testimony, broken into Kid Cudi's house. So she testifies about that. We already know what happened, that Cudi starts to come back to the house. He decides, no, I'm not going to go there because he's got guns. I don't know what he's going to do. So he says, I'm going to call the police instead. After this all goes down, Capricorn says that that she and Cassie tried to convince Cudi, do not go to the police, and that they were doing this at Diddy's behest, that Diddy had actually said to them, you better convince him not to go to the police, say he better not file a police report. So they actually did that. She says they told Cudi, listen, if you go to the police, he's gonna take it out on us. The way, actually, I want to find this testimony because it is really damning. Again, if the jury believes all of this, here it is. Once you get to Cassie, she says this is Diddy telling her, you need to convince Cudi not to tell the police it was me, because Diddy didn't want the police report. This is a quote from her testimony. If you don't convince him of that, I'll kill all you mother blankers. So, again, all of these threats, this goes toward the racketeering. If you're looking for a winner and loser today, it is definitely the prosecution. The defense tried their best to try and poke holes in her testimony, make her seem less credible. I don't think that they were all that successful the clear winner today is the prosecution, and Capricorn Clark is the new star witness.
I agree. Hold on. One last one, y'all, before I go. One former assistant emotional.
Kidnapping, arson, drug offenses to testimony in the Diddy trial was a little crazy. This is Capricorn Clark. She is a former assistant to Sean P. Diddy Combs, and she worked with him from 2004 to 2012, and then later worked for Cassie Ventura in 2018. Now, what you see on the screen is a chart of all the various crimes the government is accusing Sean Combs of committing in this particular trial.
Here they go right here.
The government only has to...
So here they go right here. They only have to prove 2 of these. Okay? They only have to prove 2. Let's go. Let's just move Cassie out the way. He kidnapped Capricorn, Kitty, the hotel guy. When he was dragging her down, he had the bag. Witness tampering, forced labor. 40. Only 4. They work 20-hour days on a good day, right? Sex trafficking. Transportation. Y'all see it? You only have to have 2.
Proof 2 of these to be true to get a conviction on the RICO charges. Now, along with the RICO charges, the government's also charging Combs separately with sex trafficking and transportation for prostitution. So today's testimony started to focus in on the kidnapping allegation of 13A listed in the indictment. So let's start with the alleged kidnapping incident that occurred in December of 2011. Capricorn Clark recounted a frightening incident that occurred in December of 2011 when she says that Combs discovered that his then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, was secretly involved with rapper Kid Cudi. She testified that early one morning, an enraged Combs pounded on Clark's door at about 5:30 to 6 a.m. in the morning. When she opened it up, she saw Combs looking disheveled, well dressed though, but his pants were torn. He was holding a gun, and according to Clark, Combs demanded, why didn't she tell him about Cassie and Kid Cudi? She then testified that she was told to get dressed by Diddy, who said that they were about to go and kill Kid Cudi. Now, I want you to hear from someone who's sitting in the courtroom while this testimony is being given. He's an attorney from New York like myself. His name is Joe Neerman, and they call him Good Logic. Here is his recap of the testimony.
Day 10 at the Diddy trial. This morning, we saw testimony from Capricorn Clark, longtime assistant to Diddy, on and off between 2004 and 2018. She documented a whole new series of crimes that we had not yet heard about while corroborating testimony from Kid Cudi and Cassie Ventura. I am Joe Neerman, a.k.a. Good Logic. I'm an attorney in downtown New York, covering this trial and dropping 2 videos a day, letting you know what's happening inside the courtroom and giving you a legal perspective on matters that you're not going to get from legacy media. We've now had 3 witnesses who have testified between Cassie, Kid Cudi, and Capricorn Clark to the outrage that Diddy displayed when he first learned of an ongoing relationship between Cassie Ventura and Kid Cudi. Now, Capricorn had known about this relationship for a while. She testified that she went with Cassie to get her burner phone because she was concerned that if Diddy would find out about this relationship, that all hell would break loose, and she figured that Diddy controlled her phone and that the best thing for her to do would be to get a burner phone. When Diddy found out about this, she said it was on December 22nd, 2011, that he came to her and took her at gunpoint in a car saying, we're going to get Cassie. And that they go into Cassie's house, they were going to Kid Cudi's house, and they were driving around, and they were they stopped off at a hotel for a while, and were hanging out a couple of miles away from Kid Cudi's house, and the different interactions that she had with Cassie and Kid Kid Cudi by phone at the express direction of Diddy. Diddy saw this personal relationship between Capricorn Clark and Cassie. And at one point during that day, before the police had arrived, when they saw that the police were going to be coming, he said that Diddy seemed to calm a little bit when he saw that police involvement was coming down. That he had Cassie he had Capricorn collect Cassie to bring her back to his house. And that was what she did. She, at Diddy's direction, according to Capricorn, called up Cassie and told Cassie that Diddy refuses to let her go, meaning he's going to hold on to Capricorn until Cassie would come, and was essentially using her as a bargaining chip, that she was being held hostage by Diddy until Cassie would come and meet with Diddy. Now, this is what, in fact, the testimony in the opening statement, one of the first questions she got was, "Were you kidnapped by Diddy?" And she said yes. And that's the incident she's referring to, not the incident so much with the lie detector test, which some would qualify as a kidnapping in 2004, but the 2011 incident is what they're referring to as a kidnapping. After she ends up collecting Cassie, she also was directed to go to Kid Cudi and contact him and tell him that with the police coming to his house, that he should not identify Diddy as the person who came to his house or having any relationship to it. Otherwise, quote unquote, he said he will.
You're telling me it was Frank.
Meaning, presumably Capricorn, Cassie, and Kid Cudi, that he was threatening that the police were notified of his involvement in approaching Kid Cudi's house when Kid Cudi called the police and ended up reporting a break-in, that if he would identify Diddy, that he would kill them all. So this is all very consistent with the testimony that we heard from both Cassie and from Kid Cudi as to the events that went down near the end of 2011.
So you've got everything from burglary, kidnapping, witness tampering. Yeah, you have the whole ball of wax. But Capricorn Clark had to face cross-examination from the defense. And Joe's about to tell us what happened with that.
We spent this entire afternoon listening to the cross-examination redirected Capricorn Clark, and defense counsel Mark Agnifilo had Capricorn Clark bawling her eyes out for several segments of her testimony, and at times seeming to be a little bit confused and not sure of her recollection as to the series of calls she made while she was sitting in Diddy's car outside of Kid Cudi's house. Now, there was a lot of damning evidence that was presented this morning when she told over the entire story what it was like sitting in the car with Diddy the morning that he had found out that Cassie Ventura was having a relationship with Kid Cudi, and the rage that he was displaying, that he allegedly kidnapped Capricorn Clark at gunpoint, and she was questioned on cross-examination about this. And Mark Agnifilo made some great points, some great strides, questioned about the trip to Kid Cudi's house and the phone call she made, which she said that she was trying to call someone for help, and also to notify and give a heads up to Kid Cudi that Diddy was coming after them, saying that the first person she called was Laura London, which she describes as a close friend, like her sister at the time, and she said that the reason she called Lauren was because she had fears as to that she was just going to disappear. And in fact, she testified on direct that when she was told to call Cassie in order to convince Cassie to come visit Diddy at Diddy's direction, that Diddy told Cassie through Capricorn. So this is Capricorn now talking to Cassie, saying, Diddy said he's not going to let me go until you come here, until you agree to come to his house and meet with him. And Cassie accordingly agreed to come. And Agnifilo made some great strides as far as showing that perhaps her memory may not be so perfect. But the bawling part that I referenced earlier in this video, that came when she was being questioned about her repeated attempts to come back to Diddy. She got fired. Now, this incident with Kid Cudi happens in late 2011, right around Christmas time, and she ends up being fired that summer, in the summer of 2012, and she thought it was because of, it was punishment that came from Diddy because she had helped Cassie in getting Cassie a burner phone and failing to tell Diddy about this burgeoning relationship. It was an interesting moment when she was talking about how she ultimately was brought back in 2017, and Mark Agnifilo said to her that, hey, you know, obviously he heard your message. He came back to you because she sent several emails to him apologizing, begging him to accept her apology for what we would presume is Diddy's perception of there being a betrayal. And she's bawling, saying that she was trying to get her life back. She just wants her life back. And on redirect, she clarified what that meant, which is that she felt that Diddy had blacklisted her from the industry, saying, I have a son, he has autism, and she's crying, saying that she couldn't get any work, and that she ended up begging Diddy to take her back. Now, the couple of folks that I spoke to, journalists here, thought that Mark Agnifilo did a phenomenal job of discrediting her by getting her to bawl and to admit that she came running back to Diddy.
Now, if you're interested in more in-depth coverage like this from the Diddy trial, Good Logic is in the courtroom every day, and he does 2 videos, one after the morning session and one after the afternoon session. Link to his channel is in the description. So, as you can see, the government is making its way through our trusty chart. For instance, when we talk about kidnapping, then we're talking about Capricorn Clark. Arson for 13B is Kid Cudi. Bribery, that's our hotel security guard. Okay. Witness tampering, forced labor, sex trafficking, that's all Cassie and some of the other witnesses. Oh, okay. Transportation for prostitution, those are the male sex workers who were transported across state lines to have sex with Cassie. And drug trafficking and drug distribution, well, every party had drugs. And the fact that the government only has to prove 2 out of these 8 particular crimes to get a RICO conviction. And on top of that, if Diddy is convicted of the sex trafficking alone, he's facing a life sentence, then yeah, it looks like Diddy is in a lot of trouble. Now, let's just keep it 100%. This trial is going disastrously for Diddy. See, the problem that the defense attorneys are going through is that everyone now has to be lying. The security guard has to be lying. The escort has to be lying. Cassie has to be lying. Darn Richard has to be lying. The federal agents that testified have to be lying. And those were just the witnesses from the first week. We have the second week's witnesses, we have this week's witnesses that are all going to be saying the same thing. So if you're the defense, even if you do poke holes in one of these witnesses' stories, unless you're poking hole in the whole narrative, then I don't think you really have anything. It seems like Diddy is being walked down the street for a conviction. But let's not prejudge it. Let's wait to see what his defense puts up. Because he could put up 30 or 40 witnesses that say the exact opposite. And if that was to happen, then it muddies the waters tremendously. But as of right now, if I'm a betting man, I think they can definitely pull off 2 of these 8 RICO charges. I think they easily have transportation for prostitution. I think they easily have the sex trafficking. And I think the drug distribution is also a give me. So Diddy is right now looking at least a minimum of 15 years in prison if the things that I believe are already proven the jury agrees with. But again, like I keep saying, we have to wait for the defense.
The sex trafficking is life.
Stuff. My name is the Lawyer, and we'll see you.
Okay, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm going here. I am tired. Let me say bye to my people. Bye, good people. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm gonna look at some stuff. Yeah, I'm finna go. Shout out to Capricorn, baby. We've been waiting on her. Oh, they did cross-examine her. This gonna be a good old sandwich, ain't it? Bruh, man. Mod. Phil Flow. Sandwich. This is gonna be a good sandwich. Ooh. Can I put some seafood? Can I have a seafood sub? I want to stack up some seafood and salmon and some crab legs. I got the banana peppers. What type of sandwich y'all making, boo? Because baby, that sandwich gonna be all up here. But I want on the end. Can I get the end to have making seafood Everybody gonna have a piece of this sandwich, baby. It's so... They building the sandwich, ain't they? To eat his ass up. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye. Hit the like button on your way out.